Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 57th episode of Screaming Into the Void, where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and joining me today are my lovely co-panelists, and Ryan.
What the fuck is wrong with you, fucker?
I mean, you're not as pretty as the other two.
Well, yeah, especially if I turn my camera on.
Yeah. So,
What's going on?
My icon's prettier
Kat, what do you mean?
than Nomi's.
You better watch yourself.
Is everything okay, Kat? You look a little lost.
Am I hearing twice?
Could be.
Do you have it playing anywhere else with the sound on? Because it'll come through. It'll double up on your. There will be a delay. It'll double up in your headphones.
I'm about to say, Kat, we can hear you fine. At least I can.
Yeah, Zillich.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It was on Twitter. Okay, that's better now. I could hear your voices twice. It was very, very.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time when I forget to turn something off. Welcome, Kat, the Hijabi Gamer.
Yo, what's up?
We got Nomi Without You.
Hi.
And the aforementioned but ugly Ryan.
Wait. Who's this Nomi Without You person?
You better watch it.
Never heard of her. She sounds frumpy.
I'm not frumpy. I'm
All
just
right.
prettier than you, and I'm not getting called out amongst my friends. At least we'll tell you that we're being honest. They're just not that good looking.
Yeah. Is that what it is? I got something for you. Check your
Don't
DM.
you dare. Don't you dare.
Okay.
All right. So we got some stuff that came up that I would like to cover regarding some shit that was said by some people who anyway. But first, I've got a nice little video for everybody, a palate cleanser, if you will. At least for me. It's probably a good thing that JV's not here. This would freak his ass right out.
Not scorpions.
Not scorpions, no.
Spiders?
Relative of a scorpion, yeah.
So spiders.
A spider. All right, so yeah, you've probably seen this. Have you guys ever seen spiders shed their exoskeleton before?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, and I don't think I want to.
It's pretty cool, actually. Check it out. It's like he's got like the whole top part of his head is like a lid.
God.
My ears.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna probably mute that sound. I have no idea about that music. So, but yeah, it goes on.
I don't need to see this.
It's
Why?
cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
I thought
It's
you would
life.
think it was cool, Kat.
It's life. No, seriously, I'm being dead serious. It's life. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
A woman
Why
giving birth is a beautiful thing.
I don't want to watch that.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was
I
it.
haven't seen nobody give birth, but you
What?
know, whatever. What?
Where-
What?
It was
Yeah.
just something neat that I had seen on the old Twit Twats because I like stuff like that. I think that is pretty cool.
I do too. I love nature.
You know, because they'll leave behind a nearly perfect exoskeleton. Like you could go and like
primal, not kill it with fire and bleach. Come on.
I'm with Primal. Kill it with fire and bleach.
No,
Please kill it with fire and bleach.
it's a beautiful thing, okay? You know, when the baby is replicating, you know, they get older, they got to molt, and it's a good thing, seriously. You know, spiders kill like roaches and stuff like that, right?
Yes, but I don't need to look at them while they do it.
I have seen birth up close.
Yep.
both in humans and in other species. And
Yep.
yeah, it's always pretty fucking traumatizing.
I saw
It's not that bad. Sorry.
saw
I
kittens.
mean, if you're born on a well, I mean, I was raised on a farm. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
what's your excuse?
it's not an excuse. I'm telling a story that I've helped assisted other animals giving birth. So I've seen it.
Did you stick your arms in there?
Not all the way in there.
How deep?
Shut the fuck up.
All right. So anyway, I just thought I'd start off with, we used to do these like weird little videos and stuff at the top of the shows. Just, I mean, we had one real early on that was about showed a guy turning around on a very narrow single lane road on a mountainside.
Behemoth
was
says Guten
Pretty
Tag.
wild.
Guten Tag, Herr Behemoth.
I forget what the word for afternoon is. I don't know. I don't speak German, but hello.
So Guten Tag is good day. Guten
Mhm.
Morgen is and
Good morning.
Guten Abend is good afternoon.
Okay, Abend, because night is Guten Nacht.
Mhm.
Yeah, Guten Nacht. Yeah.
So
Guten Abend, Herr Behemoth.
Buenas tardes. There we go.
So I got tagged by JV, who couldn't make it today. He had some other stuff going on. So with this little gem earlier.
I don't want to see his penis. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, near
It
enough,
looks like it.
right? Yeah. So just slap a wig on it. It'll be fine. Oh, it jumped out again. All right.
Nomi's broken again.
No, I'm not.
Invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population.
All right, I'm gonna play that again because it's a short clip. But listen to what she's actually saying here.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Doesn't make any sense at all. So
Reduce
Wait.
population.
I was just gonna say she said reduce population. So yeah.
Yep.
more of our kids. What are you talking about? You just said have less kids by population.
Guys, look, it's genocide is cool, okay? Well, yeah, there you go, Zilla's genocide talk. Genocide is the new thing, take your friends out. You know why? Because somebody's a little slow, a little stupid. Like he's like, I like Power Rangers. It's like going, yeah, you know what? Mark that motherfucker right there. Get rid of him.
I'm going to say this about, about Kamala, about everybody who's on board with this, reduce the population shit, right?
Bill Gates.
Because they're not talking like long term, maybe, a couple hundred years to slow population growth. They're talking real fucking soon.
They're
which
talking
is
about like 10, 20 years.
They are traitors to the human species. Every fucking one of them.
Well, why do you think that Bill Gates is investing in farmland in the center of the country? Also, at the same time, he's actually him and his we'll say quote partners, because I'm not on screen, are vaccinating beef for the Makoof and other.
No, what they're doing is just they're yeah, that's all that is another way to get those spike proteins into our blood.
Yep.
We eat beef.
And the spike proteins are damaged.
If we eat the beef that's been tainted with their bullshit. So
and also, didn't he release like mosquitoes that are positive with malaria?
Squatch.
And then obviously those who are those who
in
get
Florida,
infected.
if I remember right.
Yeah, and then he has somehow magically he created this vaccine. It heals malaria. How did you make a vaccine before this was even reported that there's mosquitoes positive with malaria?
Right.
Also, I mean, not like it was an awful thing to go through. I've had malaria before. It was hell. It was awful. I'm still alive. I've done everything that I can to make myself better after when I came back from this country that I was in that I got malaria from. So, of course, he's going to be the savior. Like, I have this solution that will heal you and prevent you from, having malaria. No, what I did was just the natural route, did the natural way. It took 3 months, but I'm still here.
Right.
I did see that Squatch called me specimen. Hello, my friend.
Yeah, he swore to me the other day he is never going to refer to you as Ryan or Legion again. It's just going to be specimen.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm all for it. You know, he can call me specimen all he wants. Look, I welcome all loving advances. I'll just say that.
Oh. Enough to meet someone in the back of a dumpster?
I mean, maybe behind the dumpster, not in it.
I mean, I don't know, Ryan. He could go in it.
I don't know me. Where do you want to meet behind the dumpster? What happened?
You
You started, dude.
Is that a spit take is almost as funny when you can't see it.
I was drinking my water, trying to be healthy.
I'm sure you were. Yeah, you had something in your mouth, and not Lou. No, not Lou. She's like, oh God.
Lou, this is all Ryan. He's the one who's instigating all of this. I am just pointing out the fact.
I didn't instigate shit. You put your input on this again.
You're the one who was asking how deep.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So on the topic,
Samuel, go.
No, you're right. Though. Like Bill Gates does not own as much farmland as he's purported to. Like when people talk about, oh, he's buying up all the farmland, he owns about 1 million acres, which in the grand scheme of things, there's something like 400 or 500 million acres of farmland in the United States of arable farmland, and so it really is just like a percentage, of the amount of farmland. But yeah, that is basically the thing. It's like nobody's going to be able to use that land, which does cut into, I mean, we have 350 fucking million people in this country that we got to feed,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that will put us. I don't think that it'll put a stop to agricultural gains, but it will certainly put a strain on it. And yeah, it's so there, and I believe that malaria thing with the malaria mosquitoes that happened in Florida, didn't it?
I think it did.
I missed that part. We're talking about like what, West Nile?
Yeah, I think so too. Because
not West Nile. Malaria.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, malaria started in Central Florida. I'm sorry, it's not Central Florida. Central America. Around the Panama Canal.
Right, but what we're getting at is that Bill Gates, and he's been public about this, released a bunch of malaria-infected mosquitoes into Florida.
I hadn't heard that.
This was a few years ago, I think.
This was recent. This was like a few weeks ago.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Oh, then I probably got fucking malaria.
I could have swore I heard about it a while back. But, like West Nile is just another example. Every year we get these, we get some new
H1N1
virus, like bird flu, avian flu, the swine flu,
monkeypox. Well, that's where it came in.
West Nile virus. There's always some.
So,
new
Nomi,
thing
you
to
have
panic about.
monkeypox then?
Shut up, Brian.
And I think that what we're seeing is a series of tests. They're trying to perfect a bioweapon.
Oh yes, definitely.
And I think that COVID was probably one of the more recent iterations of it, but it was less effective than they hoped. Like most of those had been, like, with West Nile, for example. I was living in Colorado at the time that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. The big problem with that wasn't so much that people were getting bit by mosquitoes and getting sick, although that was happening. But at the time, during the whole panic about that, I believe there were only 9 recorded fatalities in all of Colorado.
Yeah.
And like at least 5 of them were really old people. Who were on their way out anyway. I'm not saying that it's cool that happened. I'm just saying that, like they probably would not have survived any kind of serious infection or malady. And the big issue with that was not so much the people getting sick and dropping like flies, because they weren't. I mean, people were getting sick, and there are some people who have lasting results from it. Some people, didn't react to it very well. But the fact that they started spraying pesticides on suburban and urban neighborhoods,
Well, they've done that more than once.
Yeah.
You know, in the history of this country. So that's not.
See, and that's why I'm kind of thinking like West Nile in particular was probably not. That was probably just the excuse they needed to seed our neighborhoods with whatever it was they were fucking spraying.
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, I was in the U.S. Army, you know, in 2004 when bird flu was the thing, and they're like, "Well, if you see a dead bird, don't touch it." And I'm like,
Huh?
"The fuck am I going to touch a dead bird?"
Yeah. Squatch says that it was. I think he's talking about the malaria mosquitoes revealed recently, but it occurred like 2 years ago. Yeah, because I think that was what they were saying. They were saying that he did it a while back, and they're just now talking about it because of course he wouldn't fucking say anything about it at the time. You know?
Well, in 2020, we had the murder hornets. If everybody remembers,
I remember the murder hornets, Africanized honeybees. You know, like
killer bees.
Something.
Yeah, that was late 90s too, like 98, 99. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what happened with that? Not much.
Nothing.
Yeah, so it just.
Hi, Cat.
Yo.
Are you with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let her be. She's playing her video games.
Yeah.
All right, woman, calm down. Fuck.
Fair enough.
I'm not mad. I
No.
didn't raise my voice. I was just defending Kat. I was like, let her play her video games.
I think you two should just like get a room and get it out of your systems.
Wait,
what?
Who said who to what now?
You always like going at each other like this on live.
He's the one starting it.
Oh yeah, because never mind. This is not helping the cause. Busha McFadden says, "Hey Ryan, don't stick your finger in that anthill and don't lick the wasp nest and don't roll in yellow snow."
I mean, rolling.
Look at a roll in yellow snow.
No, thank you for telling him this, Bush, because I'm pretty sure he's done this before.
Yeah. Anyway,
Samuel for president. Go ahead, sir.
They just I think that the like these vectors, these diseases that are unleashed on the population. I'm starting to think that the diseases themselves are not the point. It's all the shit that that comes after, like with vaccinations, like with airplane spraying, residential areas. There's something else that they're trying to get into our systems that they couldn't otherwise. So, they're inventing excuses to do so.
No, it's also psychological because think about it. Before all of this became an issue, okay, first step was COVID, where there were things that they were forcing on people that you could debate. Now, when most common sense people would be like, "Do you want me to wear a mask?" Yeah, that's not going to work. Anyone who's like pre-med would look at you and be like, "Yeah, I know why surgical masks are for. They're so that the surgeon doesn't spit into the surgical wound. It has nothing to do with the air at all." But
it's also breathing because the surgeon can breathe out actual
bacteria.
germs.
Yeah, but not most germs. That won't protect against most germs. That's why now they have even more stuff. But a surgical mask, no. I mean, they proved beyond a doubt that even the COVID virus goes through the holes are too big. All right, it doesn't work. That's the main. Yeah, the main reason surgeons wear masks is this is 100% okay. It's because that's why they said the COVID mask. They're like, because you spit when you talk. It's the saliva. It's not about the air. It's about the saliva. Okay. But you can debate it, right? You can be like, yeah, well, maybe if you're sick actively, right? Now you have people. It's to train people. So if they're willing to accept that, right? Next, they're willing to blindly accept an injection that, hey, it's experimental, but blindly accept it. Now we're blindly accepting that men can compete against women. So we are reaching the stage where the government wants to hold up 5 lights and tell us they're 4, and they want us to accept it. And it's even if the virus doesn't work, it's just psychological. It's dumbing down a population of dumb people so they'd be willing to accept whatever you tell them. Because I've seen people who go dumber and dumber, and I'm looking at them like you're blindly accept. I mean, who votes for Biden at this point unless you're so indoctrinated your brain is.
I do have a quick question.
Nobody voted for Biden the first time. Just saying.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. Squatch says, guess you never heard of Agenda 20.
If you're talking about Agenda 21, yes, I have heard of it,
Yeah.
and
And
that has been
he
updated to Agenda 2030, if I'm not mistaken.
he also said "Be strong, unite." Like I don't understand what that means.
Vagina?
I mean, well, that's what I would assume, unless it has to do something with Agenda 20. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, mask limit variables and facial recognition. That is true, but what Kat said is also relevant. Is if you can get people to cover their faces like that, if you can get people to give up a vital part of our communication like that, that easily, then, and I've said this for a long time, they're not masks, they're muzzles.
Yeah.
You know, let's get people in line, get people to shut the fuck up, and do what they're told. And also to act rapidly towards anyone who won't.
Yes. So, I mean, come on, what is more concrete and known for millennia since human existence? The difference between men and women. Now you have people who are now questioning something that we should know for a fact. So they're just training us to become passive sheep. It started with the masks, then it started with the vaccine, and now it's with this. And what next? If you can actually sit there and accept that there is no difference between men and women, what won't you accept next? Flat out. This is something that's right in front of your eyes.
Boosh, that's just not smart.
That's how my friend got mono.
Right? The kissing disease?
Yeah. And no, like legit, that's how she got mono.
Right. That's why it's called the kissing disease. It's very easily transmitted that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just like I won't make out with everybody I meet. I mean, you don't know if they've got like an open cold sore or something in their mouth. Like you don't want that. Sorry, Lou. I mean,
y'all creeping. Well, y'all, we're creeping Lou out, man.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but that's why I never kiss him on the mouth.
Oh,
what? I don't.
That was a bit of what's the term I'm looking for here? Is
foreshadowing.
A paraphrase of a line from a show called Firefly. If you haven't watched that, go do so. It's awesome.
Yes, Firefly is incredible. Yes, great show.
Yep. Stay home, take the bus, eat the bugs. You need another job. Oh, look over there, a squirrel. That is facts, Hongaloid.
I will eat rocks before I eat the bugs.
Mm-hmm. I will take out that squirrel before I eat bugs.
Yeah.
That squirrel's going to be looking at you too. Like I said last night, though, when we were on your show, Ryan, you know, and I told Tom, I was just like, look, man, I don't mean anything personal by this, or, you know, it's just a matter of survival. But if it came right down to it, I'd absolutely eat you.
No.
You know, like I'm not looking for anything bad to happen to Tom, but if he and I were in a survival situation, one of us is going in the other one's belly, and it ain't going to be me.
Yeah, no.
So,
I think last night was a lot of great conversations on all streams. God, I was on 3 streams last night. So yeah,
good joke, Ozzy.
Wow.
Never. Wow.
You
know why they call it the clap, right?
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Yep, because you used to get these like nasty big ass boils that had to be relieved of pressure, and the way they used to do that is they take a family Bible, which usually weighed about 18 pounds, and slam it down on the thing and burst it.
Yep.
They would clap it,
and it would literally shoot the infection out the other side.
Yeah, I mean it works, but it's fucking brutal. You can achieve the same effect with a disinfected needle.
Well, now,
yeah.
They had needles then too.
Yeah.
Nah, not disinfected in the same way. Come on.
No, you just heat it up, get it warm, you know, kill it.
They didn't know that at the time.
Or alcohol. They knew alcohol. They knew alcohol worked as a disinfectant.
Do Muslims know what alcohol is?
Yes, Muslims. The word alcohol is actually Arabic.
Yes,
you know that, right?
Larry, where the fuck are you? Get in here.
I don't know.
Arabic.
He might be busy today. He had some stuff going on too.
He's touching his butthole.
What is with you today?
Could if he wanted to, but he's got a wife, so
I know he's
have to
got
do
a
that
wife.
himself.
Easy woman, all right. You know what?
What is it? What? I'm sorry. What? I'm just trying to be myself and hang out with my friends, and you over here like being a total jerk and like I don't know. You're just coming in hot today.
Well, that's been the show, guys. Thanks for coming.
Kat, what game are you playing? How are you doing?
Warframe. I wanted something mindless and simple after playing Remnant
After
from the
hearing
Ashes.
Ryan's voice.
Yeah, fair enough. Zillage alcohol was also used and still is to disinfect things. So
To this day, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Larry, no, not the tongue emoji.
Please don't.
Please.
Look,
No.
I don't have the bandwidth to turn my camera on, so we're fine.
I mean, I've got a meme, but
Please don't.
That's not my call. I
won't do that. This time, but
Thank you.
I can't promise that's going to be the way for always.
Then I guess this will be the end of me hanging out with you then. Okay.
I just got ultimatumed.
Yes, Zillage. Alcohol. The word alcohol is actually Arabic.
I do have
comes
to
from the-
ask, Nomi, what is your aversion to a man with a long tongue, or just tongues in general?
Yours is just abnormal. It's so weird.
Well,
to
so
see it.
hold
Mr.
on,
Dystopian?
well, hello, Mr. Dystopian.
Hola.
So it's an aversion to me. It's not anybody else.
Wait, let me just. Okay, so Zillage. The word
So she
alcohol
started
is
laughing.
alcohol. Not high makeup worn by.
Oh wow.
So
Ozzy says Nomi thinks Sam is hot.
I've never seen Sam.
I have. With a lovely mask on, and he looks like the eldritch god he is.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually like to see that again if you ever decide to do a quote.
I think I've got it. Right.
Do it. There it is. There it is.
Yep, and I'm wearing my ugly Cthulhu Christmas sweater.
That's not ugly. I like
Well,
it.
you're not seeing the whole thing. But
I have an ugly Back to the Future Christmas sweater.
No, we
You
had
just had an ugly face.
ugly Christmas sweater party at work last year, and I got voluntold I had to go, so I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna wear something that looks like a Christmas sweater, but when you actually look at it, it's not.
Nomi, I heard what you said, but Lou was laughing at the back and forth between all of us.
Oh yeah.
See, this is why we all hang out and stream together. Whether we're on camera or off camera, we're having a good time. We're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And and Kat is playing Destiny 2.
No,
Warframe.
I just said I was playing Warframe.
I know. That's
If I were Bungie or Digital Extremes, I would be highly offended.
hard time.
I would be highly offended
You
if
like
I
to give
worked
hard
for
times, don't you?
Digital Extremes or Bungie for you confusing their games.
Oh, well,
I'm so sorry.
we don't
Bungie,
play their
Digital
games.
Extremes.
My apologies, Kat. I'm sorry.
Not
but as
me.
far
You
as-
should be apologizing to Digital Extremes and Bungie
To be honest, like
for getting their games wrong.
I don't care about their feelings,
I
but
feel like
what?
you're being I feel like you're being Warframe phobic now.
Damn
now
right.
You've got Cat.
Anti-Warframe
I'm
discrimination.
gonna go burn a controller on their lawn.
Do it, please do
No,
it. That would be awesome.
But
Me too,
yeah, speaking of Ryan and going hard.
What? That's
Hey, actually, I need to know what's your routine. How do you get that peach?
I don't. Hold on. Pull that back up again. What
Oh
peach?
yeah, just a second.
You don't know what a peach means?
I mean, the booty. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, well, you know what? You got to do a lot of squats. Wow, my socks look really dirty.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah.
only thing that's really dirty
Oh,
about that.
I know you do a lot of squats, Ryan.
I said my socks look really dirty, not squats. Lulu says the background.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. Kawhi sent one of Ryan. Are you dying?
I know, right? I love it when Nomi laughs because she's like, there's like two of them. It's like a cackle, and then it's like,
I got a clip.
I don't do that.
No, that's I got a clip of from Bissell Musings last week that I made into a short where Larry's singing Nomi's name, but like right at the end of it, he just like chokes on it and starts hacking.
Yeah, that was actually cool.
and we're just like, dude, don't kill yourself over this. And he's like, some things are worth dying for.
I said every day. Oh, I love that clip.
Yeah, I was debating on whether or not I was going to use the updated because I have an updated opener that has something else stitched onto the end of that, but I haven't changed out the music in that clip yet, so it's it'll get us copyright struck, but it's so good.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I kind of want to show it again, so I'm gonna do that, and copyright be damned.
Do it.
I would like to say that I'm kind of sad that I wasn't invited to this dance party. You know, it's okay.
I'm just surprised that Arabic music is being
maybe
copyrighted.
turn your camera on and you could actually dance on screen.
You have to pay for that.
It's
These aren't feet pics, woman. Turn your camera on.
It's 300 for half and half.
You don't want to see me with the camera on right now.
It's fine. It's fine. But you know, it's just that's what Suka was able to clip. Two of those are from the same stream because remember, Kat, we were telling you it was like you got to roll the shoulders,
Yeah,
and all that. And then I think he clipped a mirror from one of her streams where she came in with music and dancing and all that stuff and all that. But not everybody dances on stream, so you know it's like you take what clips you got.
I do have to ask, did you show Amir that clip last night?
I don't think I did. No.
God damn it, Samuel.
Well, we're talking about other things.
What about your homosexuality?
Well, no, yours.
We understand you're very fragile, but we're here to support you.
I know.
I'm not here to support anybody.
He's only fragile because he's like a second away from prolapse.
I'm here to play Warframe.
Whoa, that is beyond gross. The fact that you are laughing, woman, I know what kind of porn you look at.
I don't look at any of that. I
don't know what prolapse means. What are you talking about?
Well, prolapse is when it falls out like a sock.
Yeah, they used to call it a pink sock. Back in the day.
No, they still do. They still do.
Little pink sock. You kind of flick it with your fingers a little bit.
I ever tell you that joke about
what do you mean you? I didn't make it up.
Let Sam talk. Let Sam finish.
Did I ever tell you guys that joke about the man at the meat packing plant?
Oh my god, no.
All right, so this man works at a meat packing plant every day, and he goes in every day at work. When he clocks in, he immediately goes to the restroom, and he spends, half an hour in there, and it starts to grate on the nerves of his coworkers because they got to spend that first 30 minutes like covering his ass because he's not out working. He's in there doing whatever he's doing. Every morning, without fail, he clocks in, he goes into that bathroom for 30 minutes. So one day they decided to play a joke on him, working at a meat packing plant and all that. They had some extra bits as you were, and they just like loaded up the toilet bowl with him, right? Just to freak him out a little bit. So he goes in there, and about half an hour later, they hear this like startled scream, blood curdling. Another 2 hours goes by. It's dead silent. And he finally comes out of there looking like he'd seen a ghost, right? Just pale, pasty, all the blood drained from his face, his eyes wide. And they're like, what happened in there, man? Are you okay? And he's like, no, I shit all my guts out. But with the help of God and these 2 fingers, I put them all back in.
Oh, God bless it, Samuel.
That's a great
I
joke.
like that Cat just smiles and she barely reacts.
You know what?
She's like, I would have put them guts back in too.
I'm gonna stick to Warframe. Thank
Are they
God.
are they kosher? By the way, are the guts kosher? I that's a great question. Kat, do you guys have to abide by the kosher rules?
Well, ours are very similar, but not exact. We can eat kosher, so we either eat kosher, but we used to eat kosher when there wasn't a lot of halal food available, but now there's a lot of halal. Most of the same rules apply to us as to Jews.
Orthodox Jews, yeah.
Yes, there's a couple. Ours are actually slightly more lenient in some areas and stricter in others. We can't drink any alcohol, but we can eat all shellfish. So anything from the ocean is halal.
Okay,
I will point out though
halal is considered
allowed.
Allowed. Okay.
Yeah,
And haram
halal
is forbidden.
yeah. But to be clear, technically kosher applies to all Jews, but not all Jews practice it rigidly.
Like me, I still eat pork.
In fact,
I
remember
Messianic Jews tend to eat pork, so and bacon.
No,
Melanie,
on top of that, they say.
Yeah, I'm Jew. You didn't know that?
No, because you're Hispanic. It makes no sense.
I'm Sephardic. I'm Sephardic Jew.
Zillich, the first time I heard that joke was actually in like 9th grade in like an art class or something. Maybe
I'm Ryan sounds like he had his mind blown away.
Why do you
I was just saying, like, you sound like you had your mind blown away that I am Jew.
Well, one thing though is that they have found that the majority of the kosher food isn't eaten by Jews; it's eaten by Muslims. Most kosher food is actually eaten by Muslims, because not all Jews keep kosher, but
exactly, Lou. There are dozens of us. Dozens.
Hold on.
What?
There are millions of Hispanic little hats. That's how you. Wow.
Yeah, it's YouTube gets weird when you say the word Jew. Because they assume that every person who's saying it is either Jewish or anti-Semitic, and sometimes it just comes up in conversation. But yeah, they get weird about it. So and then there are a bunch of people who are anti-Semitic who will use that particular term to get around censors.
Yep.
Okay. I need actual real context. Okay, it's been a long day. Are you serious with me?
Yes.
Yeah. I know what a yarmulke is.
Oh
yes, I'm being serious with you. The term tiny hat means Jew.
Yes.
I never heard that. That's different.
Yeah,
it's because you're not Jew.
No, you're right. I'm not a Jew.
You also don't get exposed to a bunch of people who hate him, which is typically who uses that term. Not always, but I think like Lou is just being careful with the terminology in case of the censors. But because the algorithm does not make a distinction, between like conversationally bringing it up and being like, anti-Semitic, which I would like to point out once again, Arabs are Semitic too. Just saying.
Yes, Arabs are actually Semitic. That's something that people keep getting wrong.
There used to be hundreds of Semitic tribes. Now there are 2 major ones and a couple of minor ones that nobody ever hears about. But there used to be a lot more different Semitic peoples. Most of them wiped each other out thousands of years ago.
Well, because Semitic comes from the Semitic language, and the Semitic languages are Arabic and Hebrew. So Arabs, that's why I love it. I find it hilarious when they call Arabs anti-Semitic. It's like, so you're basically saying we hate ourselves.
Yeah, but then you had tribes like the Canaanites and the Phoenicians, and these guys were, and even to a probably a lesser degree, the Philistines were all Semitic peoples. They all came from the same region. They all had languages that were based in the same roots.
What's up, Horny Alf? Lou said Sam is absolutely right about why I just referred to them by that term. My husband is 25% little hat, and Boosh said, Ryan, spell yarmulke, which he did spell. I would have never been able to spell that. Even I couldn't tell you if that was actually right. I have not Googled it.
Hell, Alf.
So hell, Alf.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's
I kind of feel like
American,
my mind was blown.
yeah, most Americans, like we tend to mispronounce things, and in this case, when people say yarmulke, they drop the R. It's yarmulke, and then usually the L is, so they'll be like yarmulke. It's yarmulke. So, hey, vase of flowers.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial, but hate speech is free speech.
No, nobody's disputing that.
No.
Except the algorithm.
Yeah. No, nobody's disputing that. That's wild, though. Wow.
I didn't know it either.
If y'all are not fucking with me, I learned something.
I didn't know that either.
We're not messing with you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I literally learned something. That's wild.
You got yourself an education.
Well, and because I hang out in different circles on YouTube, I sometimes run into people who will use that term derogatorily. So that's where I heard it. And every once in a while something will happen, like I'll click on something that has to do with like the WEF, because I follow them pretty closely, and there is a virulent group of people who are absolutely anti-Semitic, like it drips out of them like poison, who are also in those particular circles, because guess who they blame all the bad shit on?
Well, guess. So yeah, Lou just said the same thing that Bush did, and then Bush said up above, nah, it's because they came from New York and don't know how to pronounce R's.
Yeah,
really.
It's like Asians; they don't know how to pronounce ours. They pronounce it as L's.
Holy shit! I'm learning stuff.
Yeah, not to be like racist or anything, but yeah, if you talk to an Asian,
it's not racist.
When they say really, it's like oh really?
Yeah. Oh really? Yeah.
And that's again, that's a language barrier thing, because the language is structured very differently in certain parts of the world, and so certain sounds don't
Arabs can't say
work
P
quite as well for some people. Like there are certain sounds that like the first letter in Cat's name, like people who are not raised speaking Arabic have a very difficult time pronouncing it correctly because it's not in our alphabet.
Yeah. It sounds like Aisha, but Aisha.
No, it's Aisha.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, it's been a while since I've heard it. Sorry,
but Arabs can't say B. I mean, can't say P. If you ask an Arab, they'll say happy.
Yeah, if it's a B, it comes off like. Wow, I feel like that I should do like a, kind of like a cultural stream on my history channel to.
Well, you got two girls here that are willing to represent.
That's what I'm talking about. Even Amira, because it's just like if we don't have to talk like pop culture or politics or anything like that. It's just talk about world history and how it's different. This is crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. It wasn't until I was 20 or 19 when we found out that we are Sephardic Jew. We came from a lineage of Spaniards who immigrated from Poland in the Nazi regime. So my great grandmother from Spain migrated to Mexico and then came up here to the States. Mm-hmm. So
holy shit.
Real quick, Cavitano or Cavitano, Philippines, you guys were colonized by the Spanish, and so I believe the main language there is Spanish, correct?
Yes.
And in which case people raised speaking Spanish would of course be able to roll their R's, but people who are not raised, I have a difficult time rolling my R's because Spanish is not my first language. And also I don't speak very good anything, but but when I was learning Spanish when I was younger, I had a very hard time rolling my R's. It wasn't until I started learning Russian that it became a little bit easier, because the basics of Russian are very similar to Germanic languages.
And very, very hard R's.
But but they do roll their R's hard too.
Yeah. Herr Schmidt.
Russia.
It's very, very, very intense.
And then there's Mexican or Spanish, I'm sorry, where we say rojo, burrito.
And then of course, Spanish and Portuguese are actually
Spanish and French.
Yeah. Also, these are the languages of the world are very similar. They have very gender very gendered. It's a very gendered language. Many languages, and that's not a commentary on political or pop culture or anything like that. But languages are gendered.
Yeah.
Herr Jones. It means Mr. Jones. And so Fräulein, Elsa would be so.
Well, Arabic, the nouns are gendered.
Yeah.
Yes. Same with German.
Like, yeah.
Der, die, and das.
I mean, the verbs, even the verbs are gendered.
Yeah.
So saying how I run is different than how a guy, you would say, someone who's male would run.
I did not know that, Luke Casley.
What?
Their Spanish last names in common. Wow, I didn't know that either.
No, she's right. When I was living in Canada, there is a good Filipino population that was there, and people know my surname because of the professional job I had at the time. And one lady, she's like, "Oh, like your last name is very common in the Philippines, and it's a rare last name here in the States, but over there in the Philippines, what she told me, it's very popular because it comes from Spain."
Mr. Dystopian says wunderbar.
That was the other thing. Like, with Germanic
Dystopian.
languages like German, they like anytime you see a W, it's pronounced like a V.
Yeah.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
So
can't roll my R's for shit.
Also at the same time, Germany in English is called Deutschland. It's Deutschland über alles. When I first started learning it, the way it's spelled, I called it doucheland in my high school class. I was like, doucheland, and my teacher's like, no, it's Deutschland.
Oh well. Yeah.
And to say Germany in Spanish is Alemania.
Yeah,
that's in Arabic too, Alemania.
It's
Alemania,
funny because it used to be known as the land of the Alemans, who were a people who were long since gone, but that's who used to occupy Germany, or where Germany is now.
And UA.
Way back when Latin was the reigning language and the Roman Empire was expanding.
Well, Egypt in Arabic is Mos.
Even in German, American is a hard N. It's American.
Oh, it's not ninja.
Yeah. So nein, sprechen Sie Deutsch? Yeah. So Cavatino Cavalryman says, no sprechen, no speak German. Yeah. So nein is no. Speak, and sprechen is the Deutsch is German. Nein, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Es ist Bullshit.
Yeah.
والله ما انا فاهمه الكلمه اللي انتوا بتقولوها. ليه عمالين تكلموني بالالماني وبالاسباني وبالمعرفش ايه؟ انا زهقت من كل الكلام ده.
Yeah, I don't speak.
Yeah, if I still work,
I caught a few things, but that's just because you just said that you call it Alam.
Hold on, it's weird. I feel like a little bit of tingling in my shorts. What the hell is that?
Shut the! Oh my gosh, Ryan, not to
Come
Kat.
on, I'm
not to Kat.
Yeah, I do it to Kat just to joke around because she doesn't care.
I was gonna say, Kat, if I still had my professional job back in the day, because I worked with a lot of Middle Eastern women, I would have definitely called you. Can you translate this for me, please? Or can you translate this to them because they're not getting it? Also, can you talk to their husbands for me because they're not obeying?
Zillage, you don't speak, young woman?
No, hablas señorita?
No hablas señorita. What he's saying is, I don't speak señorita. Like, I don't speak lady.
Yeah, no, I know.
No hablas señorita.
UA says German sounds so aggressive. Yes, it absolutely does. Also, at the same time, Arabic was
it's very phlegmy, back of the throat.
Yeah, But if you hear people speak it naturally, it's not the same thing. So, like Ozzy Man says, "Wenn ist das Nastuk gets unter es Schlossreihe." Yeah. What
Ryan,
happened?
are you German?
No,
Because you make it sound so natural.
No, you sound very angry.
I took 3 years of German, so that's why.
Oh,
It's probably
Okay.
why my Hitler, not the Lertler impersonation is pretty good.
okay.
It-
I was gonna say it's because, well, you know what? Never mind. I was gonna say something, but I don't think it's appropriate.
Were you going to say something racist?
Well, I was gonna say I was gonna
Kidding.
because if you're German, you should have known that I was Jew because it's in your blood.
What? Yeah, you did. No. I'm actually I'm British, English, Irish, Blackfoot, Indian, and Dutch. That is my family lineage.
Blackfoot or
So-
Blackfeet? Because those are two different tribes.
Blackfoot.
Okay,
Blackfoot.
I'm just checking because a lot of people will say that when they say one or the other, they don't know the difference.
Yeah,
I don't know the difference.
It's mostly regional.
It's
Like
regional.
they're in very different parts of the country, or their traditional territories were anyway.
I'm 3/4 honky and 1/4 got
Donkey.
conquered.
Do you speak fluent honky bonics?
I speak
No.
fluent honky bonds. I've never heard that.
Y'all
Y'all.
down here, we go around and we talk like this.
Gosh dang, y'all!
And, maybe we'll sit out on the porch later and,
Man, I'll tell you what,
sit in the
man,
rocking
over there.
chair with some nice sweet tea.
Ooh,
Oh, I
good.
can't. I can't drink sweet tea. No,
What? Why not?
because it'll kill a fucking horse with that sugar.
You know what? You're not wrong. Yeah,
God, that's diabetes in a fucking glass.
I know.
If you got diabetes like I do,
Yeah,
You have
Lucas.
diabetes?
If I remember right, I think that the Blackfoot tribe it had more to do with the region that they were in, and they didn't tend to wear a lot of shoes.
Indiana.
Yeah, so they didn't tend to wear a lot of shoes, and there was like a real rich, like dark soil there, and it would tend to coat their feet. And I think that's where the name came from. I don't know.
Yep.
These names were given to them by other tribes.
Yeah,
generally,
the Blackfoot Indians were natives of Indiana, Idaho, and stuff like that. Very very heavily populated, and that's where my grandfather, his parents, his mother, mostly, that's where she got her lineage from. So
I can't believe you never heard honky bonics, like the
never
term.
heard that. No, that's the first.
Yeah.
Oh man, you don't hang around enough rednecks.
Rednecks.
No, I
So
don't.
we know who the racist is.
I live
You?
around rednecks. Half
You.
of my family are rednecks.
I think rednecks are cool.
So Ryan, where I live in a Hispanic town. So I live.
You
near-
can't say hick on here. No.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I grew up.
She questioned it for like
rednecks.
a millisecond.
Yes, I can't. What I was gonna say is because I'm Mexican. Try to cancel me. Try to cancel a brown person.
Yeah,
You
but are you a
can't.
hick?
You don't look brown because
I-
you're not on camera.
Yeah, you could be pretending. You could be black facing it.
According to Hollywood, I am white as snow. So yeah,
know.
my brown
You're-
skin.
You're gonna be the new Snow White. So when the movie premieres, I'm gonna need you to like dress up as.
Oh,
Snow
I
White,
will.
So we
I
can
will
bring
dress
you
up
on
as Snow
stream. And we'll talk to you as Snow White.
That movie is not coming out. There's no way.
Oh,
in
it's
hell.
so
it's coming
coming out.
It's coming out.
Oh, it's
girl.
coming out.
Yeah,
And then
I
got a good compliment the other day. Someone told me that I would have been a better Snow White than the one that they hired for this movie.
That's not a
I was like,
compliment.
"Oh."
No, me.
Yeah,
I have
yes,
bad news for
absolutely.
you. No, me. That's not a compliment. That's
Oh,
like
it's-
saying
Oh no, that's a
I
compliment.
prefer a rock over a cat turd.
No, it's a compliment. I'm taking it as a compliment.
Yeah,
Because the actress, like, she's very mid. There's the actress who's playing Snow White, and then she's gonna be in Gal Gadot is gonna be the evil queen. They
Queen,
messed up amazingly.
Yeah,
messed up
Rachel
on
Zegler
one.
and Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
The stand-in looks better than Rachel Zegler.
yeah.
We were talking literally last night about the fact that you know what the stand-in is a bonus hole times 5.
Yeah.
There's only 5 stars for the record
Bernie.
of this meme. What's up, Bernie?
Yeah. You
hell
came
is that
right in.
fucking
He
noise?
came in right
Oh,
in time to
oh,
hear you say bonus hole.
Sorry. I will apologize. So Ryan, what you asked him, what's that noise? My door to my room fell, and my dad is fixing it. So I will go in and out on mic, so you guys won't hear.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
He can't hear you. Oh, he can't hear you.
Well, tell him we said hi.
Oh, let me go. Dad,
No,
come
don't.
over here for a second.
Jeez.
Come
Oh
over
no.
here. I'm gonna.
What do we call him, Mr. Nomi?
Hi, Dad. Know me, Dad.
You're yelling at the
Daddy, know me.
Don't worry about it. It's
Mr.
fine.
Without you.
Mr.
The camera's not on, but my internet friends want to say hi.
Hello, sir. My name is Ryan. This is Samuel for president and the head jobby gamer. We would just like to say hi.
Hi, Mr. Without you.
Greetings.
Your daughter's awesome, and we like to give her a hard time. So,
thank
We live in you.
Yeah.
Why are you
Hi. He has a man of few words.
smart?
well, that's my dad, a man of few words. Like you'll be like, hey, Dad, you know my tire's flat. And he's like, okay,
Fix
and I'm
it.
like, can you? Yeah, my dad's the same. What the hell is
Well, Bush's comment.
Bush? I would like to say, well done, sir. What the fuck does that mean?
I know what it means, and I'm not gonna say it while her dad's in the room.
He's hammering. He can't hear us anymore.
That was kind of how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's say, well done, sir.
Even I figured.
Are you talking to me, Bush?
No.
He's
no,
not
he's not.
talking to your ugly face, Ryan.
Wow, you said ugly face.
Yours.
Because I look so good.
I mean,
You could keep telling yourself that.
I'll be all right.
squats.
We got- woman, I will break my foot off in your ass.
Is that a kink for you?
You know what? I'll turn my camera on and stick my tongue out, and you've already lost it. There it is. There it is. I win.
Wait.
Me wins.
Wait. What did you win?
Samuel.
I mean, if you want to win something, I guess.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Oh no. I was laughing, then I went to the last one.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ryan. You have found the blue bullet and you put it in your mouth.
I thought it was blue raspberry.
It is blue bullet, blue raspberry, whatever, depending on where you put it. Oh my God, Bush, is that Tron still?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Dude,
We call it blue raspberry. It's Ryan's favorite sipping utensil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not even the worst thing I've got on here, but you know, I've been trying to be good lately. As good as I can be anyway. Who wants another dance party?
I do. That's Ryan's dance when he's trying to attract a mate.
I was just gonna say, look at that sexy man there.
Muggsy, good to see you. How you been?
Muggsy Kins?
Oh.
We missed you. Where you been?
Oh, so I see you caught up on that the whole thing about it's Yeah, sorry about that. It's a bad movie.
We would.
It's just like, oh, Muggsy heard about that.
I might have told her about it because I wanted to see if it was true.
I just want to say, for the record to Lou, thank you. Brian's shoulders moves. Yeah, they do.
No, it's funny because he was doing that to show Kat how to move her shoulders because she was just really kind of like,
I can't dance.
oh, I have a video that says otherwise.
That's not dancing. That's me.
I
looking-
disagree.
I thought that dancing was a part of
Y'all's
Muslim
culture.
culture.
Doesn't mean I can do it.
Well, that was part of the argument that led to that, and not argument, but the discussion that led to that was,
Yeah,
like
Arab dancing.
yeah, the Arab dancing, which you mentioned is very similar to Latin or Latino or Hispanic dancing, but the difference is that in Hispania, the girls and the guys dance together.
Well, I said the
Yes.
music was very similar. I didn't say the dancing was.
I would say that some of the moves that we saw were probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
I would say they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hispanic people tend to have a lot of dance moves under their belt.
We
They're
do.
very, very dancey people, and
We are.
and very, very, very good at it.
Yes, he is.
Well, also the Arabs controlled Spain for a long period of time, and so there's a lot of Arab influence on Spain. Because
There's a lot
remember-
of Roman influence on it too. I mean, they've
Yeah.
been conquered by a bunch of different people. So
you know what the word California means, right? Which ironically is hilarious when you think about the circumstances of California right now.
it's funny if you look it up, they won't tell you that that's what it's named after. They will just say, "Oh, it's just some, Spanish word that we're not really sure of the origin of." No, it's because you don't want to admit that you were under the caliphate at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the irony is, I mean, come on, just your
Lou is
your
right.
state means land of the Khalifa. Maybe we should take it back and fix it a little.
Why?
No, well, fix it.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's
That's
even
true.
possible at this point.
They're too far gone.
I've felt for some time now that we should do the Lex Luthor move, from Superman 1978, where he was going to break off California. That's why he bought up all that worthless desert property so it would become beachfront. I mean, I'm less in favor of like sinking it and drowning everybody as I am of just floating it on over to China since they love the commies so much.
Yeah, California. Yeah, I figured when
Yeah.
I heard sink it. Yeah, we're talking about California.
Yes, we were.
Wow, it's the land of the Khalifa.
I think that we should actually cut California in half, northern and southern, and call it 2 states.
We could do that. But in order to do that, like if we were to do that, we'd have to get them to be on board with the people who want to create Jefferson up in Washington. Is it Washington or Oregon? There's a movement. There's
Oregon,
a petition. I think they want to.
I believe it's Washington.
Yeah, I think
Washington State, by the way.
Yeah, I think they should though. I think they should very much be allowed to be Jefferson because the people who want to be Jefferson are the ones who don't live in the cities on the coast.
Well,
The farmers
hello
and the
there,
small town
Islam
people.
for Europeans.
Greetings.
Mm.
So yeah, no, I think we should. Why not? Let them do their thing.
Cat,
No.
is that a power bar?
Nutrigrain?
Nutrigram bar? Blueberry?
No, strawberry.
Oh, strawberry. Very nice. I do like the strawberry.
I was kind of like the green apple ones.
Those are
Oh,
good.
what
Those
is
are really-
wrong with you?
They're good.
They're good.
I can't explain why because they're
They're
a little
good.
tangy
Good.
for my taste, but they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's also a little tangy when you lick men's buttholes.
Ew.
What?
Are you speaking from experience?
No,
Where are you
speaking
even
from-
making that connection? It's like we're talking about Nutrigrain.
woman? Really?
Are these
Also,
these
like, how
men
would
whose
you-
buttholes you licked? Do they do they eat a lot of apples, Brian?
Yeah, I know what to say. How do you know that taste? How do you
No,
know that
well-
flavor?
No, but that's like me saying my cat is taking a nap, and you go, "Let's nuke."
There it is. That was the best part right there. Butthole surfers.
I don't even know how. We downgraded to the
What? Lou, isn't the seventh ring of hell Cain, which would technically be my last name?
No.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, it depends on like which kind of which
Which
organization are you talking about? Are you talking about Dante's like organization of the Nine Rings?
Well, yeah, there's 9 circles of hell.
Yeah.
And
I don't believe so because Cain was exiled to a land called Nod, which is outside of heaven or hell.
Yeah, but the thing is though is that no, I think it's the 8th circle of hell is called Cain.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out.
Well, look it up. Bump, bump,
Do,
bump.
do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do,
All right,
do.
so
yeah, Dante from Dante's Inferno.
yeah. The only names that are coming up are what they represent, like which sin they.
I'm pretty
house.
sure. I'm. You know what?
As far as Dante goes, anyway. And
now that I think of it, I think it's the 7th. Yeah, because
the 7th is for heretics.
Oh.
Yeah. 7th ring is for heretics.
I got on such a tangent. That was my fault.
But yeah, there's violence, fraud, anger, greed, gluttony, lust. The first circle is limbo, which would be like purgatory or whatever.
Which one's violence?
7th.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, the 7th circle of hell, circle of violence, which is my middle name.
7th. Yep, the 7th circle of hell is called Cain in the Christian Bible. So
I don't.
Yes.
Again, the 7 rings of hell is almost exclusively Catholic.
9. There's 9.
9 rings. You know, what have you? That is almost exclusively a Catholic theology.
I know.
Yeah, in most Protestant stuff, it's just one big unhappy place.
The irony is that all 3 of my names are actually from the Bible. So my middle name is very much from the Bible too.
So's mine. Yeah. My middle name, I mean.
Even Ryan, the name Ryan, yes, is in the Bible. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My name isn't in the Quran. The only woman's name in the Quran is Maryam.
You know what, Kat? What are the are there any kind of like circles of purgatory or anything like that for the Quran, or is it just
there's no purgatory, but there is hell, and there are different kinds of hell. Now I don't know if there's 7 circles, but I do know you could also end up in hellfire for a short period of time and be removed from hellfire. There are different types of punishments for different types of things.
So if you serve it for a while and then you're removed from it, isn't that closer to like Sheol or purgatory than hell?
Because it's still technically hell.
Technically, so it's Sheol, but it's not permanent. It's like you're there to learn your lesson.
Yes. There's also, I mean, it's horrible. Excuse me. They use the example of, would you put your finger in fire? Fire is one of the worst things ever. It's like you wouldn't even be able to put your finger in fire. Now imagine if your entire body is covered with that. The food of hell does not fatten nor quench hunger or thirst. But on the other hand, heaven is awesome because it's not. I mean, there are rivers. You could have rivers of milk and honey and all that, or you can have whatever you want.
Mr. Dystopian says purgatory is very Greek theology.
Purgatory is very Catholic, though. The idea behind like a waiting room until they figure out what to do with you.
Also, Islam for Europeans says that the heights is the top of the wall between heaven and paradise. Also, people who have equal level of sins and good deeds are on top of the heights between paradise and hell. It is said they will enter paradise at some point.
Yeah, so it's like God's waiting room. But that reminds me of a story from Greek mythology. Actually, you guys are aware of the term tantalize, right? To be tantalized, tantalizing.
Yes.
So the origin of that word actually comes from a king in Greek mythology, Tantalus. Specifically, the story called the Torment of Tantalus. So in Greek mythology, they only had one underworld, but it was divided into 3 major sections, right? You had Elysium, or the Elysian Fields, which was basically, heaven. You had
Yes.
The bad place. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And then you had Tartarus, where like the immortals went to suffer.
So Hades was God at the end.
Yeah. Well, Hades encompasses all of the underworld, though, good and bad, because Hades himself, the god, oversaw all of.
There's like the Field of Souls or something like that. Yeah,
there's
it
was,
it's
I forget exactly what the name for it is, but regardless of that, it's the bad place for mortals, and then you've got the other bad place, which is also an ancient deity, which is also one of Gaia's former lovers, and also where they stick all of the immortals, like the Titans and shit, who got on the gods' nerves. Which was Tartarus. It's funny that Zeus kept feeding like Titans to Tartarus when Tartarus was like his like great grandfather. But anyway, that said, so Tantalus was a very vain, very rich king, and he proclaimed, and he had these children, these spoiled brat children who were always scheming to take over. They were extremely ungrateful. You know how it goes when you got a dick king and he's got dick kids. I mean, we're talking like Uday, Hussein kind of levels of debauchery. So he had just had enough of them and all that stuff, but he was also very, very proud. And so one day he decides he's going to hold a great feast in Zeus's honor, and he's going to invite all the gods of Olympus. And he does. And they show up, and they all have a fine meal, good wine, and at the end of it, though, Zeus, who's starting to get suspicious, looks at Tantalus and he says, "O great king, where are thy children?" Because nobody's seen them. In or around. They should have been at the feast. They weren't at the feast. Nobody's heard from them. And as it comes out, Tantalus had murdered, cooked, and fed his children to the gods.
Yep.
Because he was sick of their shit and he wanted to put one over on Zeus.
Yep.
And for his arrogance and his monstrosity, he was sent to Hades nearly immediately by Zeus, where they placed him on an island. And this was a very small island, and it had a single tree growing on it that had some kind of like dates or pears or some sort of fruit growing on them. And the island was surrounded by fresh water, clear, cool, drinkable water. And he was neither allowed to eat nor drink. Every time he reached for a fruit of the tree, the branches would recede out of his grasp. Every time he tried to bend to take a drink, the waves would move away from him. And this is where we get the term tantalizing, to tantalize. Because he was constantly starving and constantly dying of thirst, except he was already dead. So, it was
it's sort of like the Guardians in Destiny. They can actually starve to death, and then their ghost survives them, and then they can starve to death. And that's why
I love that. She always has a Destiny or a Warframe,
No, but it's actually pretty cool because it's something that actually, for once, back when they were actually being creative, where they're like the Drifter. One of the reasons why the Drifter talks about food so much is because at one point he was starving to death, and then his ghost would bring him back from the dead, and he would starve again.
Wow, Lou says now that island is known as Perpstein Island. Just kidding. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah. Well,
are you?
That place doesn't exist. Okay, nothing happened there.
It's just a right-wing conspiracy.
Yeah. It's QAnon. No homo. Whatever.
Yeah, it's that. I don't know. Anyway, point of the story is that's where the term comes from. It was about a man who could never die again because he was already dead. He was a soul, but he was constantly feeling the pains of extreme starvation and thirst. And that was his punishment for feeding his kids to the gods.
Yeah, that's what. See what some Europeans said. So I remember as a kid, I wanted a starship. And it was like, yeah, paradise, you can have a starship like the Enterprise or a Romulan warbird. It could be captain of your own ship and everything. It would be awesome.
The USS Enterprise.
That's not that dissimilar.
1701D.
It's not that dissimilar from certain pagan views on how eternity is. Like you get what you think you're gonna get.
Well, I'm
What you
gonna.
and I don't mean like oh, if I wish real hard for it, I'll get it. But I mean like in your heart of hearts, deep down, where maybe even you don't know what
What
you
up,
believe you will
Revenge?
get is what you will get. Which is why I don't believe that there are too many true atheists. There may be a few, and there may be some people who don't believe that they are, but they deep down they are. And
Those are
they're
called
gonna-
agnostic people.
No, agnostics are people who are not sure. They're hedging their bets a little bit. They don't know for certain one way or the other.
I want a real Viso.
Okay.
My little robot. You guys don't understand. It's my little robot. Not the video game character. My little robot in my video game. Not the dude who dies in the new war. No, I'm talking my little Moa. He's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just little bit. I don't know if I can. How many times can I say little bit?
Because you are all waiting for me to share a picture of Viso.
So are we? Cute. Is that what we're waiting for, Kat?
Yeah, he's so cute. Look at him running around that with his little feet.
Oh my
no, they keep calling Viso that. Viso, no, don't listen to him. Don't listen to them.
I mean, why not? That's basically what Vision was.
Mm-hmm.
Not Viso. Viso's a Moa. He's so cute.
These terms only make sense to people who are familiar with the lore of a game that most of us on this panel do not play, right?
Yep.
It's a robot with legs and no arms that shoots.
Why didn't you just call it a robot?
Because that's what they call him. He looks like a moa, which is a kind of bird that that has like long legs, sort of like an emu. So imagine a robotic emu that shoots.
That doesn't sound okay. Like, emus are hard enough to kill as it is. Just ask Australia.
I know, which is why Viso's adorable.
So, but regarding the afterlife thing, I think there's a lot of different ideas on that. Like, certain Christian sects have very, very, very specific ideas of what's going to happen, whereas some others it's a little vaguer. I think Judaism has, like, the Sheol concept comes from Judaism, and I think they've got they do have a heaven, but I don't think they have a hell in the same way that Christians understand it. It's Sheol, like it is hell, it's hellish, but it's the goal of it is not to punish you forever, but to get you to learn whatever lesson that you didn't learn in life was, and when you do, then you move on to heaven or whatever.
It's not eternal torment.
Right. Yeah, the Hindus have like 7 different hells, and some of those are really fun. There's one where you get smashed between 2 mountains for eternity.
Well, sounds great.
Like you just kind of hang there, and the mountains like clap together with you in between them,
like butt cheeks. Like
yeah, pretty much. But giant and made of stone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we disturb you, woman?
No, you did not.
Yeah, it Zillage does sound a little bit like a Looney Tunes skit, but I honestly, if I was seriously trying to imagine what that would be like, that would suck. Like just being mashed into paste for eternity. It's
fun.
Basically your mochi.
Right. It's kind of like what happened to Prometheus, except he wasn't dead. When he disobeyed Zeus, because Prometheus, if you recall, was a Titan, but he sided with the Olympians during the war with the Titans, and so he was given a pass until he stole fire from the gods to give to man because he felt sorry for them shivering in the cold. And
Primal says like an awkward threesome.
Right.
Good lord.
So, and so Zeus had him chained to a rock on a high peak, where every day an eagle would come and eat like peck him open and eat his liver every day. And every night the liver would grow back and the eagle would return in the morning to do it again until, Heracles freed him. But it went on for a long, long, long time before Heracles was born, which wouldn't have happened if Zeus could keep it in his damn pants. But,
well, that's why that, in Greek mythology, there's all these demigods and stuff like that running around.
Mhm.
So
Most of them were Zeus's
Yep.
demigods, by the way. They were his bastard
Yep.
children. Not all of them, but most of them. Theseus, for
Hercules.
example, I think was actually Poseidon's kid.
Hercules.
That was a video game. There is a Kratos in Greek mythology, but he is an obscure minor deity.
I know, but oh god, such a good video game franchise.
Yeah.
You know, God of War.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, in the video games, yes, Kratos did all that stuff. In the mythologies, there's a cycle which actually the video games do kind of hold to a little bit of father killing and then taking the place of the son, or the other way around, son killing and taking the place of the father. It happened with Uranus was the father of the Titans. For
Did you
example,
say Uranus?
well, that's where it comes from. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm just screwing with you. Dude.
he was the sky god.
I would just like to say that I like that American flag around you. Looks real nice.
Are you hitting on me?
Slightly.
Gay.
Gay. Zealous laughs.
Yeah. But yeah, so Uranus and Gaia, they have these Titan children, and one day Cronus, the eldest of the Titans, decides he's going to, and the god of time, and harvest and seasons and death and a bunch of other shit, because you know there was only so many of them, so they all had to take on so many jobs. Took up a scythe and he castrated Uranus and cut his belly open and spread him across, you know, the heavens, which became the sky. Later on, Cronus and his sister wife Rhea gave birth to the original 6 Olympians, of which Zeus was the youngest. And each time one of them was born, Cronus had heard a prophecy from some oracle or other that his son would do the same thing to him that he did to his father. So he just was eating the babies as soon as they came out, like swallowing them whole. And Rhea did not want all of her children to, you know, get digested by their fathers. So she disguised a rock in swaddling clothing like a baby and fed that to him, and then hid away Zeus, who, when he came of age, showed up, did the same thing to his father that it had happened to his grandfather. He castrated him, he cut him open, and, you know, being gods, of course, they weren't digested. They were still sitting in his belly. Released the other 5 original Olympians, who were all brothers and sisters. And because he did that, he laid claim to the highest authority among the Olympians, the king of the gods and of the sky. And Poseidon, being the second oldest and one of the strongest, became the god of earthquakes and the sea and horses for some reason. And then Hades, who was the eldest but of the gentlest temperament and the kindest of them, was forced to accept godhood of the underworld and the earth and everything beneath it, and which he faithfully did his duty. Like, if you look into it, Hades is the single least fucked up god in all of Greek mythology.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, his job is simple. You know, Cerberus is the guard dog of the underworld, and then of course we have the boat keeper,
Charon.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Hades is the least screwed up of all of them.
Yeah, the most. If you really look into Persephone's history in the mythology, a lot of what she is in the underworld stems from an older chthonic goddess that was worshipped before the Athenians and whatnot developed all this, who is much fucking scarier.
Yes.
Like, when I say chthonic, I mean like out of the darkness. Like, we're talking serious Cthulhu shit. Whose name was Kore, which is another name for Persephone, which it gets into this whole convoluted thing because Persephone is also the daughter of Demeter, who is one of the 6 original Olympians, and yada yada yada. And she, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. They really, you know, put a lot of thought into a lot of this stuff. But Hades was a decent dude for a god, and most of the rest of them were out pillaging and raping and, you know, generally being dicks.
in Hades, his disdain for the other Olympians came from their actions, because mortal man was condemned for said actions, but the Olympians were not condemned, and Hades grew angry and bitter over that. So
he did, but he also honored his part of the agreement. He never stopped.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
And he was always, he never blamed the dead, who came to his afterlife. He never took that on them. He was always as fair as was possible with them. Like if you went to the bad place, it's because you fucking earned it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And quite frankly, the Olympians should have went to the bad place, because they were not gods on high. They were degenerates.
They were gods. They were just not.
Well,
Here's the thing about a lot of old belief systems is that people tended to anthropomorphize their gods, and I don't mean like in the sense that Christians say that we're made in God's image. It was typically the other way around, because it made it easier to relate to them and to tell their stories and to learn from their stories. If the gods basically were just immortal people, who acted like people, they were jealous, they were rageful, they were lusty, they were occasionally very generous. It was easier typically to accept that these were the beings ruling everything, because mankind likes to place himself above nature, and if there was something to be placed above him, it made sense that it was just a bigger, better version of him.
That's one of the differences between Christianity and Islam, because we do not believe man is made in God's image. We do not know what God looks like. God is not a man in heaven. He's transcendent beyond our comprehension. We know not what God looks like,
right.
This whole God is made in man's image, we don't have.
Yes, but the Jews and the Christians do have that.
Yeah, who has control over the creation. Yeah, there's no anthropomorphism in this.
Yeah. Also,
right.
Also, at the same time, Judaism is what started all of this. So Islam, and Christians are that's why we're in categories, and many Muslims agree, we are all people of the book.
Yes.
And Judaism is what started this.
I would argue actually that Zoroastrianism probably started the single good deity, single bad deity dynamic, because they were among the very first.
I'm talking about the three big
right, and I'm saying that these guys predate the Jews, but they were in the same area.
No, I know.
No, but that's the thing. In actual Abrahamic, Satan isn't a second God. He's inferior to God. He's an angel who, at least in Islam, the story is that God told him to bow down to Adam, and in his arrogance, he would not obey.
I understand that Satan is not considered a god in Islam. It's not considered a god in Christianity or in Judaism, although there is an argument to be made from those of us on the outside that y'all treat him like one. But it isn't about like Satan's actual status, as it's about the two opposing forces, light and dark, warring over your soul. That idea, that concept, is older than Judaism.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So there's a lot about the whole dog thing. Now, first of all, just one very important thing that people don't understand that's very important, and that is you do not treat animals badly. Even dogs. In Islam, you do not treat any animal badly.
Kat, so you're talking about what Vase said.
Yeah.
The Islamic taboo about dogs is a bit weird, and I'm certainly I don't understand that part.
And honestly, at this point, a lot of I'm not even going to go fully into it, because I know some different Muslims believe different things. I know, for example, my aunt has a dog in Egypt, and my uncle had a dog. Some Muslims are very against having a dog in the home. It depends on the Muslim. But there's one thing though that's
Okay.
universal, and that is you do not treat animals with cruelty, regardless of what animal it is. That's why even pigs, which we consider unclean,
Yeah.
you do not treat a pig with cruelty. So dogs are not unclean at all. In all, that's why. See, he's pointing out it's not for Europeans. It's pointing out that there are different schools of thought regarding dogs. I have an uncle who's very, very strict about it and does not want dogs at his home. I have another family member who has a dog in Egypt, but the dog, it's Egypt, right? So the dog, it has a house outside. It's a guard dog because they were living in a dangerous area and they wanted a guard dog to protect them because there weren't a lot of people in the area. It was still being under construction. It really depends on the person.
Can,
Cat.
I will
can
say
actually
this real
go
quick.
ahead, dude?
I will agree with this the saliva thing. It's not a religious thing for me, but I've seen what they fucking eat. I don't want that shit on my skin.
Yeah.
Well, hold on real quick. I do have to ask, because cats, dogs, they're very they're very sacred in Egyptian, mythology and lore and history.
Certain
Um,
canines are not necessarily
Yeah, but
domesticated dogs.
that's what. But it doesn't matter. That's the thing. While we have some things left over
Why?
culturally from ancient Egypt, you're forgetting Egypt is a Muslim country now. The
No,
old
no.
religion is no longer valid.
No, I know, but the question is why are dogs considered unclean, but
Cats are
mean,
not.
you have cats. Why are they not? I have cats. I have 2 of them.
Cats are not considered to be unclean. Dogs, as you said, they lick areas,
Right,
they
we
eat
got that,
things.
but cats do the same shit. I've seen them.
I know. I have 2 of them.
I've seen cats
Wait,
eat poop. I've seen cats eat the throw up of other animals. I've seen them do awful,
Yeah.
ugly things. I don't understand why one is considered unclean
Well,
and one is not.
a cat. This is not us putting you on the spot. It's
I don't know for
I'm
sure. I know all I know is that cats are considered clean, that you could
Okay.
actually do your wudu from an area. Now I could look further into it, but I know cats are considered clean. There's even a story of a cat who actually saved the prophet's life from a snake. I think so. I don't remember the details. But
that might
dogs,
be it
but at the same time,
because
no,
a cat can stare down a snake.
that could be it. Yeah. Cats
Maybe,
also
maybe.
The
clean
original
rodents.
sinner. The original sin is
No,
is the
Islam
snake.
doesn't have that's the thing. The whole
Yeah.
idea of the snake, it's not a snake for us. He didn't come as a snake. This whole thing.
Yeah, even if you go back to the old religion, snakes were revered in Egypt. They weren't.
No, I know.
Again, you're conflating Egyptians and the Muslim religion. The Muslim religion was in Saudi Arabia.
But Muslims and Christians do not revere snakes. They actually
No.
they're actually considered
Hmm.
the opposite. Correct? I know for me. I'm just
No, they're not considered. Okay, now I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I don't remember being ever raised to think of snakes as evil. Just never came up in the story of Adam and Eve or any of that. It was just that Shaitan or Satan came to them, both of them. So there's none of this that the woman convinced the man or any of that. This
No, I
Satan
know.
came to both and said, and God had said, "Do not eat from this tree." And he
Mhm.
convinced them both to eat from the tree. So there's none of this. Women are the source of original sin. There's no original
No.
sin in Islam either. This idea
Yeah,
that you're born in sin. No, you are born innocent and you are responsible alone for your actions. In fact, you are given a book on the day of judgment which lists all of your deeds, and if you get you take your book in the right hand, that means your good deeds outweigh your bad. If you take your book in your left hand or from behind your back, it means your bad deeds outweigh your good. So none of this original sin exists. I don't remember ever hearing anything about a snake until hearing about the Christian version.
See, that reminds me of Anubis' scale and the Soul Eater.
Just real quick,
To balance a heart against a feather.
No, but it's not a balancing of the
for-
heart or any of that. I mean,
No, but the
thing
concept is the same. If it is, it's you're weighing your good deeds against your bad deeds.
Yes.
Hold on.
So
That's all that the heart and feather thing represented.
yeah, and deeds to start recording once you hit puberty. Yeah, but again, it's not coming from Egypt. You gotta understand, Islam conquered the Arabs conquered Egypt. and they
Later
brought
on, yes, but
yeah. So,
Egypt was once a major power in the region, and I doubt they had zero cultural influence over the area.
it was. I mean, Islam came. The Quran was written like 1,500 years ago.
Samuel, real quick, can you actually highlight that? Islam for Europeans, I4E. Please email me at legiontalk2076 at gmail.com. I would actually like to hear more about this. Because I do have questions. Well, also at the same time, because for my history channel, I'd love to do a history panel where we talk about, one history subject, whether it be, Hatshepsut or something like that, or, ancient Mesopotamia. I think that would be so incredible. So that.
But as Islam for Europeans pointed out, because the Prophet did tell a story about a woman who had a cat, and she would not let the cat go out to hunt. But the cat, she also didn't feed the cat, and the cat eventually died. And the Prophet said this woman is in the hellfire for the inhumanity and cruelty she showed towards her animal. That he told of a woman who was a prostitute, who was walking in the desert, and she became thirsty, and she found a well. The bucket wasn't there, so she climbed down the well and drank water. She came back up again, and she found a dog dying of thirst. So she claimed she had leather shoes. So she climbed back down again, filled her shoes with water, and held them in her teeth as she climbed back up. And she gave water to the dog. And the Prophet said that woman is in the paradise, even though at the time she was a prostitute, because of the mercy and kindness she showed to animals. That is why when people ask me, which is why I will never say a person is going to heaven or hell. If you tell me, oh, well, homosexuality is forbidden in Islam, but this person, I'm like, no. Because you don't know what's in the person's heart, and you don't know what their intentions are or how they will die. Even the Prophet himself did not know if he was going to heaven or hell. So you do you, boo-boo. It's not my place to say I got my own problems.
He ascended on the Temple Mount. He ascended to heaven on the Temple Mount.
Yes, that is Isra and Miraj, where he rose up to heaven.
Dome of the Rock, yeah.
Yes, but he wasn't like he was going there he was going there not he doesn't know his final fate. So after he died,
he was going there to talk to God.
Yes, and in that he was
ascended to heaven. Sorry.
Yes, and he was prescribed the prayers. He met several of the prophets, and he was prescribed the prayers. And I think originally it was like 500, and he started to go back down again. I can't remember. One of the prophets told him there's no way humanity could handle that 500 prayers a day, and so he kept going back up and down until it came down to 5. Because all right, I'm sorry to take it all up. So what happened was he went to a town called Ta'if, and in Ta'if the people rejected him and they threw stones at him and his friend Abu Bakr Siddiq, and he was broken, and it was it wasn't easy. People hated him. His feet bled so much he couldn't get his shoes off. And so think about it, if he'd had a rough time. So God brought him to heaven as a it was Moses to because he'd been having a to encourage him kind of. But it was after a really rough time. The story of a Ta'if. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know.
I just wanted to say, I'm kind of glad that we're having this conversation because we were able to steal Kat away from her video game so she can engage in conversation.
I like it. That's a great point, Nomi. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm actually just encouraging you, Kat. I love hearing this about you. We love hanging out with you. I do, at least, but you're always fixing out on your game. I understand the games are fun, but I'm loving that you literally stepped away from your game so you can engage a conversation with us.
Well, let me just say, Ryan, if you ever, I would love to be on with Islam for Europeans. I've been on one stream with him, and I've met his wife, and he's awesome. And I would,
I would, so he emailed me, and I would actually like to set up, a stream on my history channel to, so where we don't talk about pop culture, we don't talk about politics, anything like that. We just talk about history of a certain region, and we just have we go nuts, and I think that would be a great time. because God, I love history. I so do. So that's why I really haven't interrupted you unless I had a question, because I do I want to know, and that's why I was like kind of shocked about what Nomi said, about the fact that her family lineage is it's not Hasidic, it's
Sephardic.
Sephardic Jew.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well,
if you Google it, Sephardic Judaism, it's just basically Mexican Jews. That's what we are.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Let me just add that, because people often say Muslims and Jews. Actually, the Jews in Spain were not thrown out of Spain until the Muslims were also conquered. The Jews were allowed to live in Spain without a problem when the Muslims were in control. In fact, when I was a child, my best friend, because the two of us, she was keeping kosher, we had a lot in common. My best friend was Jewish, and her mother was the leader of my Girl Scout troop. And
also, Lou, you're invited.
But she would always make sure that the food during the Girl Scout trips, at the Girl Scout meetings, I could eat it. We once did, and yeah, this was in a different age where they had International Day, and my troop did the can dance from France, and she knew that my father would not like me to do that, so she actually had me write a whole thing. I didn't know this at the time. I found out years later that she knew about being Muslim and made sure to like fit that in, like make sure she respected my religion, so that like she had me write a speech instead of do a dance that she knew my father would find inappropriate. So I always felt a kinship to Jews because we have so much in common.
No, fair enough. It's kind of funny because of all of the historical moving around of peoples and the various conquerings and whatnot, particularly throughout, like, the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe, and a lot of which was made possible by the Romans, with their roads and their modern amenities, like outdoor plumbing. But you end up with some interesting cross sections too. Like, for instance, at least in English, a lot of the big three will use a term like hell. We use it in our daily speech. We, like just English speakers in general, but for
what
Christians, and especially for Christians, the term hell means a very specific thing. It means a place of punishment, a place of separation from the presence of God, that kind of thing. And what's interesting about that is that actual term is an old pagan one. It comes from the Norse. It comes from one of the 9 realms where the unhallowed and unworthy dead go instead of Valhalla, and it's ruled over by a goddess of the same name, who appears in the form of a little girl who on one side is the little girl and on the other side, split down the middle, is a corpse.
Cool.
And that's where the term hell comes from, is because like when you die in
nothing happens. No, just kidding.
Yeah, well, in Asatru, in the Old Norse religion, when you die, you either die, gloriously and in battle, and are ushered into the halls of Valhalla in Asgard, or if you're a coward, or you died out of battle, or there were any number of other reasons, you would go to hell, which was a frozen realm of suffering, ruled over, of course, by a very, very bitter and unpleasant deity.
I guess you can say you'd be screaming into the void.
Yeah, it was like that, but I see.
God, I came back for Nomi's terrible joke.
How about you leave me the heck alone, Ryan?
Well, I mean, on Samuel's topic, Jews and Christians use the word Allah in the Middle East too. It literally means
hail.
Yeah, and I would argue that has to hello, Kohai, good to see you. That has to do with a lot of the cultural exchange that happens when you've got, like, the Vikings, for example, were very nomadic. They actually did make it down to North Africa and the Middle East in their travels. The Romans were very expansionist. They did business with all kinds of people as well as attempting to subjugate them. And then there were various occupations by Mohammedans and
oh no, important. Never use the word Mohammedan. Never use the word Mohammedan.
It doesn't offend me.
No, but that is actually, and I know you didn't mean it, but Mohammedan is extremely offensive to a Muslim.
Is it really?
Oh,
I've,
it
never,
is
I've
never heard
never,
anybody
extremely-
object to it
it-
before.
Yeah,
never
I'm
heard the word, by
surprised.
the way.
No.
Pray
Muhammadan
tell,
is
Kat. What is
Yes,
Muhammadan
please.
is extremely offensive to a Muslim.
What makes it offensive?
Because it implies that we worship Muhammad and not God. In fact, when the
Ah.
prophet died, a lot
See,
of people were
I don't
going
see
to
a
leave.
difference between that and Christian.
No, it is very, very
There is a
offensive.
difference. There's a difference. Yeah.
Yes. And in fact, when the prophet died, some people thought that the religion would die. And they said, if you worshipped Muhammad, he's dead, he's a man. But if you
Versus a
worship
Messiah.
God, his religion is continuing. This is like by far one of the most offensive things to call a Muslim is to call him a Muhammadan.
Well, in my defense, I was using it in reference to what the Crusaders referred to them as.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because I'm thinking
you
of a
didn't
specific
know,
time
like, yeah.
period.
as a person of my book, that's our bad. Because of course, Judaism. They believe in God on high. God is the Old Testament, fire, brimstone, stuff like that. Of course, Christians,
Baptist.
Jesus Christ is the
Pentecostal.
yeah.
Again, I look at it like
Also,
like,
Muslims look at Jesus Christ as a prophet,
Yes.
much
Yeah,
like Muhammad.
I understand
but
that.
he's not a god.
I understand that, but
He
it's
is
like
not an extension of God.
hold up. I don't look at it that way. When I think about it, I think of the same way that I do in terms of a Gardnerian Wiccan, right? The movement, that particular sect is named after a man named Gardner. They do not worship him.
Yeah, but
It's just
for
a
Muslims-
distinction between them and other sects.
No,
Just for the record, I'd never heard the term, so I
No.
probably would have made the same mistake.
Yeah,
had
no, a lot of
heard it.
people. The thing is also, one of the reasons why we are not allowed to show images, and one of the things that people don't know is it's not just the Prophet Muhammad. You're not supposed to, for Muslims, to show the image of any prophet because images lead to idolatry. So that's why for us, it's strictly forbidden to show the image of the prophet because we don't know what he looked like, and it could lead you to. He's already regarded highly. It's just one step away from people literally worshiping him. That's why the term Muhammadan, I get it, but to a Muslim, that's the last thing a Muslim wants to be called.
I'm so setting
Fair
up. I'm so setting up a history chat right now on Twitter because
Fair enough. When I was referring to that, I was referring to obviously the specific ones at the time who had occupied certain parts of Spain and Gaul.
No, I mean, it wasn't. I've been called Muhammadan before. Yeah, I've been called Muhammadan before, and I've corrected people. No, I get it. No, I hope I didn't overreact. I just so you know that, like.
Kat, you said something interesting where you said like it's forbidden for you guys to not know the faces of the prophets because it's true. No one knew what they looked like, and you'd be idolizing them. So I don't know. Maybe Samuel Ryan may have heard of this. There is a cult that is from South Korea. It's this man and wife. They believe that they're prophets.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's like a world community of God or something. I'm not entirely sure, but they're using the Bible and they are claiming there is God the Mother, and they're claiming God the Mother as being part of the Trinity, which is not true. And there is this person that I went on to a debate because they approached me trying to tell me like, well, this is the right way, and God and the Mother is part of the Trinity. Like, no, you're not. Like, you're being misled. This is blasphemy. But they showed me, they were saying like, yeah, if you look it up, there's this photo of them, but we can't have photos of them portrayed in the church because it's illegal. It's like, well, why is it illegal if they're the ones saying that they are these prophets? So that's kind of contradicting yourself a little bit, like almost like, would you say idolizing? And they're like, no, because they are the true like prophets of this generation. Like, no, like you're not. So like what you said earlier, Kat, is like, oh, that makes sense. Of like this person I had to talk to the other day at a coffee shop.
Well, the thing is, when you think about it, with the whole woke thing, right? Human nature needs something to believe in and to worship. And for Muslims, right, we don't know what God looks like. It's hard to worship something that is transcendent. So we fixate on an image or an idea. I mean, look at a lot of the Eastern Orthodox literally are kissing and bowing down to icons of the saints. It's become to the point almost where like they are worshiping these images. So our human nature is to gradually go to something concrete that we can see. So that's why it's we don't even know what he looked like. We have a rough idea. So it's like, don't put his image in your head, because if the next step is to start bowing, to slowly lead yourself down the path towards worshiping him or worshiping Jesus, who was a very revered prophet to us.
Yep.
We don't believe he died. We believe that instead, probably, I believe it's believed it's either someone volunteered to take his place and was made to look like him, or when they came to arrest him, Judas was made to look like him and was crucified in his place, and he was raised to heaven alive. He's still alive. He's supposed to return, like the Christians believe. We believe also he will return.
That sounds like translation.
Translation.
Yeah, the concept is probably a little bit more popular with Mormons, but the idea of it goes back to like the city of Enoch, for example, or there were certain people. Moses himself, right, never dies. He just ascends to heaven. He becomes purified and immortalized by God.
Well, he's not going to be purified and immortalized. I mean, he just said that the prophet was allowed to visit God. Prophet Muhammad was allowed to visit God in heaven. So he was raised alive to heaven, but he will return, live 40 years on earth, and die.
Okay, so that's. I'm gonna ask you this: when you talk about heaven in regards to Islam, is it a physical place? Do you have a physical body when you're there?
I'm going to go with yes, but I'm not entirely sure because there's some things I just never really asked.
Okay.
I mean, if the Prophet Muhammad went up to heaven in his physical form, he did go physically up to heaven, then.
Yeah, well, and the reason I ask is that's what plays into this whole translation thing. Like Ozzy here is saying, the prophet Enoch was bodily taken up to heaven. He was, but he also built a city that was considered so righteous in a world, and this was around the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were not the only fucking bad places, bad neighborhoods, but they were, the ones that were made an example of. And the city of Enoch was populated by people who were on the opposite end of that spectrum. They lived righteous, pure lives. They were good people and all that stuff, and they were so good that I'm sorry, this goes back before the flood. That before the flood happened, God lifted the entire city, stones and all, and he translated in what they say a twinkling of the eye, these people into beings who were still people, but they were people who were suited for heaven, and he just lifted all of them up into heaven all at once, just removed the city of Enoch from the face of the earth, kind of thing. And they did not have to experience death to do so. Whereas in most Christian theology, you get to a point where they talk about Jesus's resurrection. What gets covered a little less in some sects is that after day of judgment and all that stuff, the faithful will be restored, which means that they're going to get their bodies back minus any impurities and that sort of thing. And that's what the resurrection means. In fact, there's a whole theology on why we have more power in our pinky fingers than Satan does in his entire existence, because he never had a body. Because having a physical form, like they believe that God has a physical form, makes you stronger than the spirit, than just the spirit, which is what all Satan ever was, kind of thing.
That I've never heard of for us. But I do know that when Islam for Europeans says you will have a body, now that the more I think about it, because we will be raised from our graves, and so yeah, that would make sense. But I've never heard of that. I don't remember it growing up, but
yeah, Islam for Europeans says it is a physical place. You will have a new body, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because I was raised Mormon, which I have long since left that church, but I did learn quite a bit about that, and then later on I started learning about other different sects of Christianity, and then I started branching out into learning about other faiths entirely, kind of thing. And I'm just finding that there is a lot of correlations that maybe people don't think about. There are connections, between different and varying faiths that I just find it interesting, is all. And now it's an awkward silence. I'm sorry for killing the conversation.
Sorry. I just set up the history chat. That's my fault.
No, well,
I added everybody on here, and everybody's probably going, "What the fuck? What the hell?"
No,
is this crap?
I saw your group chat there, Ryan.
No, well,
Yeah, you did.
one
Oh my
thing
God.
that I'm not saying this because
Sorry.
Bugsy Kids actually recommended it. She said everyone
love-
should just
I love
read
mugs and
you
cans.
try reading the Quran. It's or even just you know what, listening to it in Arabic. It's just, if you listen to the right person reading, it's, you don't even need to understand it. It's beautiful.
Well, you know what? This is actually
What?
something
Yeah.
that we were talking about earlier. That I was trying to talk about earlier about the fact that German language is harsh. If they say that Arabic is harsh. No, it's depending on who's speaking it. So if you listen to Mr. Littler, he's like "Mach schnell, he's like yelling all the time. And it's like and then of course you talk to somebody else. It's like oh, guten Tag, how you Herr Jones. It's like it's a very
It's like the difference between a German and saying it and an Austrian.
Mm-hmm.
yes, pretty much. So like if Kat were to yell in Arabic, she would sound mad. But at the same
She
time,
would sound
if
like she was about to blow up a plane.
wow.
Hey,
Of course.
look, I neither confirm nor deny anything. Though I'll post a link if you want a sample, just hear what it sounds like. Because you'll be surprised, for language that supposedly sounds harsh. The Quranic recitation will surprise you.
Hey, Kat, would it be rude for me to ask, can you yell in Arabic just so we can see?
That is pretty rude.
Okay.
I'd like,
عايزين عمالين نتكلم على ايه؟ انا زهقت منكم كلكم، تعبت منكم، عايزين تدوني صداع، انا خلاص كفايه.
I love it. I love it.
Can you speak normally now
Can
for
you
us?
translate that? What you yelled at us?
I just was saying, I don't even remember half of what I said. I just said, why are you driving me nuts? I've had enough. خلاص, I've had enough.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like something that you would respond to Nomi with.
I would yell in Spanish, but my door is still unhinged, so my parents would hear Spanish bad words.
So I got this one. Just if you have a link for it, I got this one.
Oh wow! Revenge of the Netherrealm, says Kat. That was sexy.
Oh, Kat, you got a lover.
Oh,
well, I mean,
get it, Kat.
It's not quite as bad as our good buddy Boosh there when he gets going. This is the link that you just sent us, Kat.
Yeah, just.
ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا.
Yeah, that was pretty melodic.
You know what's funny is that
Your life?
is that because of being friends with Kat that I put Arabic on my list of languages as number 2 to learn. So Spanish and then Arabic. I just think it's something good to do, because eventually look guess what, ladies and gentlemen of the world, we're all. There's a large portion of us that are people of the book, and there's other people that are, guess what? We're all humans. We're all gonna be beige skinned one day. I mean, I'll be dead, but my kids as kids will probably be.
You can't have kids when you're gay, Ryan.
Oh man, damn it!
No, it's 2023. He can get an implant.
Oh.
Yes, I identify as a bonus hole woman, and so I can have.
You're a bonus hole haver.
I'm a bonus hole haver.
Yeah. So, real quick, Kat, do you have a way of?
Yeah, give me a sec. I know I have it. I'm trying to find it because I follow him on.
No, if you could send it to him direct, I'd be more than happy to welcome on. But yeah, and we don't normally do that, but I think that Islam for Europeans has some pretty good insights into the discussion.
Wait, oh God, what was your Twitter handle? I have it. I follow him, but I gotta find it.
Are you talking to me?
No.
Okay.
And nothing's.
No one was
nothing's-
talking to you, Ryan.
Yes, they
God.
added it, Ryan. Quit
You know
putting
what-
yourself in the middle of everything.
You know what? Nomi, eat a fucking dick. How
Oh,
about that?
Anime. Why do people
You're gonna
keep
talk to me
coming
like that in
in
front
when
of my
you say
dad?
something fucked up? It's like you planned it.
Sorry,
Okay.
sir. My apologies.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
It's
Apologize,
in the
Ryan.
chat.
Oh, right. I know I follow him. I've seen him.
And also, Ryan, you missed the chat message I sent in the video earlier. I'm the twinkle in your eye.
What earlier?
I put it in the chat.
Did you?
The YouTube chat. Here, I'm the twinkle in your eye.
Yeah. Is that your way of hitting on me?
I mean, I'm not calling you for dinner.
So what am I called for?
There you are.
It's like 2
Mhm.
people.
All right, what's
It's like the
And here's Larry to
Yeah.
All right, one sec,
Well, I
one
like to
sec.
declare
and then
that
Larry
commenting
enters the
on
chat.
Here, got it.
commenting on Ryan's early comment about things being lighter, I am doing my part to lighten things up in the world. I am 2 for 2 at this point.
There we go.
The hell
Did it
does
work?
that mean? The fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you not
What's
think
that
about
mean?
what you said?
What
You
does
said
mean?
that eventually you'll be dead, but everybody will be much lighter, so I'm doing my part.
It's not.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because he's got mixed babies.
Larry, you
Oh,
have
it
dad-
worked. Okay,
you have
never mind. I
dad
sent it like 4 times.
Get better at it, dude. Come on.
All right, there we go. I sent it like 4 times by mistake.
Yeah, so if you got the link, Islam for Europeans, you're more than welcome to join. So
no. Thank you, Samuel.
Hold on.
Hey,
Hey, Kat,
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. How's it going?
Vikram Salam, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. How's everybody doing in the chat? I'm so
Oh, we're
glad to
doing
talk to you guys.
good.
welcome. Actually, we met briefly once before on the panel that you did with Kat a few months ago.
That was the
Oh,
best
yes.
battle we ever did.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a blast.
Mhm.
Me and Sarah were very happy to be on it.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. This
you.
is Screaming Into the Void, where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like.
Love it.
I also kind of want to point out that this is our second guest that we've had on this show. So welcome.
Yes. I will. If you will do me a favor and put in the private chat your YouTube link, I will add it to the description.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Let me just go on YouTube here, get the link for you.
I would just like to highlight the chat from Anime AJ Productions. Quote.
No, we skipped past that one.
I
No,
know,
we
I'm
went
just-
right
I'm
past it, Ryan.
I'm screwing around. I'm
Wait,
just joking.
So how did I do? Because I get nervous and
Well, if I can say, I feel like I'm learning more. This is, I've had questions because I worked with a lot of Middle Eastern and Islamic women in my
Muslim
old
women.
job. Yeah, my old work. So they would tell me things. I was like, oh, that's very similar to Christianity. And then also, one of my good friends, she is from Saudi Arabia. She's Muslim, but she's very traditional. Her parents have to set up her arranged marriage versus my other Muslim friends, other Muslim women. They can choose whoever they want. So I would like to learn more about this on all this. And I think you did a good job of explaining. I mean, I could be wrong. But you did a good job is what I'm saying. You did a good job of informing me of y'all's belief.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Shut
and
up, Brian.
Kat, you understand. I am never going to convert to Islam or any other.
Oh
faith,
yeah, no, I'm not
but
trying to convert
like,
anybody.
No, I know you're not. What I'm getting at is, I mean, the reason I ask questions, the reason that we're having discussions like this is because I like to learn about people, about what they believe, about why they believe it, because it tells me something about them.
I also would rather people
and
know
about
what's
me
true.
too.
I would also rather people know what's true. A guy was confronted me, and he was like, "Well, why do women pray behind the bed? It makes them look in fear." I'm like, "Because
Well, that
women
makes
don't
that
want,
makes so much sense, though.
It's like, no, it's just because women don't want men staring at their butts while they're trying to pray.
Yeah, that,
And he's like, I'd rather you have the truth than the the fraud
And
idea.
truthfully, I respect that. Like, that's very kind of you guys for us to be behind you so we won't, get stared at.
Yeah, and the ladies get 5 days off from praying and fasting every month too, so it's a
Yeah.
bit easier.
And we can make it up in the middle of the winter too. So
Yes.
if Ramadan's in the middle of the summer, you don't have to make those missed days up in the middle of the summer. You can wait until the winter when it's short.
That
Also,
is
if you're
true.
pregnant. Also, if you're pregnant, you don't have to fast. You have to make it up later. But
I also want to remind the chat and Ryan, we do have a guest. Let's be respectful.
What? I
Robert,
just got back. I didn't say anything.
You don't know me. You don't know me very well. Know me.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's still like we want to be respectful, not because we have a guest, and I want to have an open discussion.
Oh, but if I'm around, it's okay to not be respectful. Oh.
Okay, because you're a friend, we trust you. But also in the chat as well. Let's be respectful in the chat. This is Samuel's stream. Yes, we can joke around, but we need to be respectful of others' beliefs, others' privacy, and
I think they have been for the most part.
Yeah.
This has been a very it's been very. I mean, it's good to say. I mean, it's been a very respectful panel, and I'm used to dealing with. I was on the Jolly Heretic with Edward Dutton a couple of years ago, and Ed's a very nice guy, but his guests were like super rude. It was a good thing I wasn't looking at the chat, but I'm used to it. So this is nothing compared to what I went through at the Jolly Heretic.
I'm just gonna say yes, ma'am, and move on. So.
No, well, one of the reasons why I'm always worried about getting on to someone who's big's live stream. Like, I was on someone's stream a while back, and people were. It's like I don't want to bring even more hate on someone's stream because there were a couple of people who were saying some really dumb stuff about Muslims, and and it's like I've also noticed it in Tuesday night's main event where people are like, "Why are you bringing her on again? Why don't bring her on again?" It's like I don't want to do that to someone else. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Robert, since you're here, well, welcome to the chat. We're glad that you're joining us, and glad that you're just interacting with us in chat. But feel free to, the floor is yours. Feel free to share whatever is in your mind, what you want to share with us. We would love to hear more about it, or
just
anything that you want to
tell us. Tell them the secret that we want people that aren't Muslim to think women are oppressed when the truth is the opposite way around. Oh, damn, I said it out loud.
Oh my gosh.
You said the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet.
We want you to think we're the victims when in fact we torture our men.
So so I run Islam for Europeans, and our angle is how do I put this? So as you know, like Islam in the West, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, not just from a religious angle, but also from a cultural angle as well. So from a purely Islamic perspective, in Islam, you should be able to keep everything that's good in your culture, if you're a Muslim, and just get rid of the things that are bad. So if you look at the Muslim world, and like if you look at China, for example, like in Xi'an, China, they're Muslim, but they're all Chinese. So the food is Chinese, the architecture is Chinese, the dress is Chinese. So when Muslims went to other countries now in the 21st century, Latin America, Northeast Asia, the West, it's largely an immigrant population, and you have non-Muslim populations where if they do convert to Islam, it's almost like there's no culture group of people you can join of your own culture. It's almost not like you have to assimilate into a completely different culture. So what we're suggesting is that Muslims should take a communitarian approach when they deal with converts, and that they should let them collectivize and gel into a cohesive unit, and that way their people can see it's kind of a purification of their own culture instead of having to assimilate into another one. Islam in Spanish already exists in the United States. They're a really well-funded organization, and they're made up of Latino Muslims. You also have, of course, the African American Muslim community that's incorporated, tradition, many aspects of African American culture into their Muslim community. But when it comes to Europeans, that never happened. And there's several reasons for that. Some are political, some are religious. So, we're the group that's analogous to Islam in Spanish. But you could see that this would create a lot of controversy on both the left and the right. So we're kind of like in the eye of the hurricane, as it were. So.
Well, I think a big big part of the historical issue there with Europe and Islam is that Europeans and Arabs have gone to war many times. Like there is a lot of bad blood, a lot of history there.
Oh yeah. You know, need to tell. Yeah, we have to deal with our families and our communities when we do convert to Islam. So it's almost like you said, it's almost like a traitorship. And yes, absolutely right. There was a lot of mutual fighting between specifically Europe and the Ottoman Empire and North Africa, and two totally very different histories. And all the more reason that a group like ours needs to exist, because I always say that the tragic thing about European Islamic relations is that there are none. There is no dialogue going on, and and when you add in social media, that makes for a very dangerous combination. So I totally get the fact that Europe has had such a violent history, with the surrounding neighboring Muslim regions. But again, hopefully that's why we're here, so we can kind of at least decelerate the situation, even if it's on a small scale. So.
Right. Shadow, real quick. I'm going to address Shadow here. As far as the Ottomans go, there was some shady shit happen there, but the Ottomans were one culture among many. I mean, they were an empire, but they were not.
On this planet.
So no, in specifically, I'm referring to Islamic cultures. There's been more than one, and more than one of them have had interactions with Europeans.
Like
the Ottomans
Egyptians.
were a very specific period of time. That doesn't account for the pushback that Islam gets in Europe.
Well, the other thing is, what that's very important is that people often don't understand that they confuse the religion with the culture. And a lot of things where they're like, well, Muslims do that. It's like, no, that's Arab culture. A lot of the thing that people, because the Quran is in Arabic, people think automatically that Arab equates to Muslim. And the truth is, Arabs are actually a minority. Most Muslims aren't Arab. Now, most Arabs are Muslim. That's true. So if you meet an Arab, you're probably going to meet a Muslim. But you're more likely to run into someone who is Muslim who isn't Arab. I think the last time I remember was like 15%. It was some ridiculously small percentage. So he's right. It's a religion, and you can incorporate like the hijab. Is you show there's certain general guidelines to the hijab, but you could wear a kimono. I'm just throwing something out there, with your head covered and still be considered wearing the hijab. My particular design is actually Turkish. I didn't even know that until I was trying to find new scarves, and it's like, that's a Turkish design.
Yeah, there's an organization. It's a business in Bosnia. I was watching a series on Bosnia, and there's a business called Keftan. It's run by two Bosnian Muslim women, and the interviewer was kind of perplexed because like the designs for the women's clothing was like European painters like El Greco and Monet, and he's like, I don't see any, these are all European artists. What's the deal? And the woman was like, yeah, because we're European. So like, we've been Muslim for centuries. But I think this is something that's been really understudied or not even explored, just because the history of Europe has just been tied in so intricately with Christianity. That you never see this kind of synthesis naturally develop, as you've seen with other, nascent populations that converted to Islam recently. So it's an interesting idea. It's just that it's never. I mean, if you look at European culture, traditional culture from like 20th, 19th, 18th century, women still dress very conservatively, and there's this kind of like feeling on among Europeans on the right that they're losing their culture, that their culture is dying out. Like they always said, the return, with the V instead of the U. So this would be an opportunity, a golden opportunity for the Muslim community to incorporate some of this. But that's something we haven't even begun to explore at this point. So.
Right. Well, I think they're on a certain level, Europeans feeling like their culture is at the very least being devalued. There's truth to that.
Yeah.
And what people don't fight against their own extinction.
Exactly.
To use broad and very inflammatory terms when I say that, but
Yeah.
what people would not rail against something like that.
Well, Shadow, let me also add this. A lot of also the Muslim spread came to Christians who surrendered because they realized to Muslims when they were spreading, right? The idea of Christianity was just it's Christianity. They didn't see the difference between Eastern Orthodox and Western. There are sects of Christianity that survive to this day because of the Muslims, like the Christians in Egypt, because they realized that they would be treated better under the Muslims than under Western Christians.
I would say also here that Shadow does bring up a point about the local traditions of a few thousand. Like, the fact is pagan cultures used to cover like all of Europe, huge sections of northern Asia, that sort of thing. There, but they were never united. Each village, each regional tribesman. I mean, they were more or less self-contained. They had some commonalities and all that, but they were never organized on the same level that the Roman Catholic Church did for Christianity, for example. So there is that. There was no uniting thing. It's one of the reasons that Rome was so successful in wiping most of them out, if not subjugating them, is because they weren't. I think the largest group of organized pagans that ever pushed back against Rome did it very early in its history under Hannibal of Carthage, but they were, never that organized, never that. I think organized is the best word ever again, and it didn't end up causing their downfall. And so, like, I think when you get two cultures like the Muslim culture and then the church, that sprang up under Rome, uniting like huge groups of disparate peoples, under one banner, like you're going to get a lot more pushback there than you would from like small groups who are more or less disconnected from everything else, very tribal.
Real quick, Robert, can you share your Twitter in the private chat, and I'll actually link it in the comments down below.
But I think one of the things is, like you were saying, that to embrace European culture and be Muslim with European culture, because again, it's a religion. It's a religion. So, like, I mean, when you see me dressed in daily life, you wouldn't think Arab. You would just think, I'm wearing what are those pants with the pockets? Oh God,
Cargo pants.
I wear cargo pants. Yeah, I wear a work uniform. I wear, Destiny hoodies, and I just like an American. The only difference is I have my head covered.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the difference is, with you look at Muslim populations in the West, like in large cities, they already have a cohesive sub-community, where they have their own barbershops, restaurants, organizations, family networks, marriage networks, job networks, all these things. So someone who converts to Islam from a European background, they don't have any of this. So it's almost like culture doesn't exist on an individual basis. I mean, they can, like try to incorporate this on an individual level, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you're still going to have to deal with your friends and your family and your community. And Muslim communities, even though they're very nice and warm and welcoming, they don't really have a desire to enter your sphere, and vice versa. I mean, there are people, your friends and community don't want to enter a mosque. It's not because they don't like Muslims, it's because it's just not their turf. So, you're without this kind of wolf pack mentality, that the converts have. It's it's going to be very difficult for them to keep their faith, unless you're like, willing to like be like a cultural butterfly and just go. Some people can do that. Some people can pull it off, but that's the exception and not the rule. So.
That's fair. That's been kind of my experience too. Like as I've stated on the show here several times, I am a pagan, and there are certain things that I just don't feel it's appropriate to do. Like you said, maybe entering a mosque, that's not my space. In the same way that I don't go into a cathedral during mass, it's not for me. It's their space and it's sacred to them, and I have no business violating that. So I just don't do it.
Also, I put the link in the chat. Robert is unfortunately, because I'm gonna assume his beliefs is searchable banned on Twitter. So that is the full
wow, really? I wear that as a badge of honor.
yeah, no, I had to. It took
Islamophobia on Twitter.
About 30 seconds to find you, so that's what I wanted to make sure that everybody can find that.
Wow.
Wow.
Even in the Musk era, that's That's something else.
Am I findable?
I follow you, so I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't ever had to search for you because like you're half the reason I got on Twitter in the first place.
I hate Twitter so much.
So, yeah, I would like to point out vase of flowers that is a joke in very poor taste. Not that we haven't made jokes in very poor taste, but I would also like to point out that that's actually a minority of Muslims. That's like saying that just because somebody goes to the Catholic Church that they're going to put you on a rack until you confess your sins, right? It wasn't all of them. It was a handful of dudes. Or you're hanging out with a bunch of pagans. They're definitely going to blood eagle you. That's absolutely going to happen. It's not. There are minorities of people within groups of people who will do things, and that casts a pall on a group. But we'd be fools to believe. Going to, for example, in this case, using your example, like wear a suicide vest.
Well, it's not even just that. It's that human beings are awful to each other. It doesn't matter where we come from or what our backgrounds are. We find a way to be, not nice to each other.
Right, and I can't come down too hard on anybody for making a joke in poor taste because I make jokes in poor taste.
Oh God,
I do it all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And obviously anybody in the chat making a joke, nobody here is bashing you except for nobody. She sucks.
Shut up, Ryan.
I'm just kidding.
Ryan!
I give you a nice compliment on the chat, and then this is how you treat me. It's fine.
Yeah, Ryan.
But I was rude. Continue, Ryan. Continue your statement.
No, in all honesty, and it's just we have one planet, and we're all people of this planet. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Christian, or you're Muslim, or if you're Buddhist, or I see Revenge said stuff. I'm not going to read it. So quite frankly, it doesn't matter. We all share this planet. There's one race, the human race, and we need to. I'm not going to say do better because I hate that term for the record, but we need to we need to accept other people and not judge others. And it seems like people on YouTube for the most part, online having discussions, stuff like that are the ones who are leading the charge. I felt like this was, kind of like done and squashed when I was growing up in the 90s. Yes, I was born in 1985. I'm a youngin. Even though my back doesn't feel like it, and it just seems like that we've regressed so horrendously. And it just, I don't know. I think also at the same time, I think the whole entire world needs to learn world history again because it just, I feel like we've forgotten.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I think a major thing is trying to find the synthesis between two totally different versions of the history of the last 300 years. And like if you talk to pro like colonialists, they'll say that like the colonial era was like the best thing that ever happened. The Industrial Revolution, like all these railroads were built, medicinal advancements, irrigation advancements. If you talk to the many people in the East, they equate it to like the Holocaust. It's two totally different histories. Slavery is one of those topics as well too. And I've read The Real History of Slavery by Thomas Sowell. I've also read Slavery in Islam by Dr. Jonathan A.C. Brown. Two very, very good books that provide an alternative vision of history. But no one's ever even attempted to even discuss a synthesis of these two different histories, and it's very complicated. And I think that you'd have to get the right kind of people to realize that. Like, I think this type of rhetoric is always instrumentalized by one group or the other to like push an agenda. But it was just a different time back then, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Oh, I know. As somebody who is on the younger side, technically for probably the majority of our audiences, it's unacceptable the fact that my generation, and maybe even a handful of generations above, people above me, and Gen Z below me, they don't understand history. They don't understand the meaning of words. They're like, well, you disagree with me, so you're a racist, you're homophobic, you're this, you're that, and it's like, and even the worst part, and this is the one that bothers me the most. You're a you're Nazie, and it's like, do you know what that means? Because that's one of the worst things you could call anybody. And I think, Robert, you and I could sit here and talk about the fact that, you know what, as Kat and I have done before, people of the book, Christians and Muslims, during the Crusades, we literally clashed against each other, for various reasons. And it's like, nobody understands the fact that, these were two war, ideological, similar ideas that decided to go to war with each other, unfortunately. And that sucks. It really sucks. And but you know what? History is something that if we don't discuss it in its full true form, we're doomed to repeat it. And it's one reason that you can see under my name, usually I have a picture, but the last one says, Legion teaches history, because I want to try to, like, teach the younger generation about actual history. And that just doesn't mean, history from my point of view. It means history from other people's point of views. And that means Kat, because Kat literally tonight taught me things that I had no idea about Islam. None. And it just it's something that we need to have an open conversation, not scream at each other and call each other names. And that's the bottom line. And I think our society, the world society, not talking about globalists, I know Samuel loves that. But people, us as human beings, it'd be the best.
I would agree with most of that, Ryan, but I would say that the obviously we should learn our history so we're not doomed to repeat it, but we have a tendency to go into extremes in either direction, and we need to be careful that we don't become mired in the past as well, so that we can move past those things.
Mm-hmm. But on top of that, I mean, one of the reasons why I do live stream with a camera is because one of the reasons why I started live streaming was to show that, people don't see, especially in America, someone like me dressed often. So it's just to be like, yeah, I play first person shooters just like anybody else. I'm just a adorable person. I have a job. I happen to be Muslim, but I enjoy video games. So, show people that, someone like me can be a normal human being and not like Ms. Marvel or whatever else. I like comic books and Star Trek, and like, I just happen to be Muslim as well. I don't hate people. But one of the things that being a Muslim is that this whole idea that you don't have to fully agree with someone to get along with them. I could not function in this country if every single person I didn't agree with, I didn't get along with. Otherwise, because just on a very basic level, everybody I work with, the majority of them eat bacon. What, am I not going to get a job? I mean, just that's the example I use is the most lacking in extreme, where it's like, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, but cool. I don't know.
Well said, Kat. You're doing a great job. We got to get you on. We got to get you on the Mad Mem Luke's. I've been trying to get you on, but I don't know if you'll be up for it.
For the what?
Biggest Muslim podcast, Mad Mem Luke's. They got like 10,000 subscribers, which is a shame because they should have more. But
why me?
Because you're based.
Okay.
But it's up now. If you, it's
no,
up to
I'll
you.
do it. I'll do it. I said I mean,
well,
as I said, I would rather people know the truth and to know what you know, Muslims are really like. And like I said, I mean, when I first started live streaming, it was not, even now, it's still extremely difficult. But
well, I guess what he's trying to say, Kat, is that you are a very based person in your views, who you are as a person, where you stand on all the things, and you have a great foundation. So you can bring a lot to this channel, sharing your views, like where you stand, and you're not criticizing, you're not attacking others. So I think that's a really good example, display of who you are, and also a display of God Himself, because you set that light. So I think that's a good honor for you to be invited. So you're very based, you're educational, and you do a good portrayal of where you stand.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, like I think there's a tendency to, you look at online figures, like they attract like a certain crowd, and this goes for people across, whatever group you feel like you belong to, and if they come across like a very like I don't know, say not even hateful, but just like divisive message, you're going to attract that particular group of people, and that's going to make people think that everyone thinks that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a channel like this, you attract people who do want to engage in dialogue. So I think that's and everybody here too. So I think it's a really good endeavor. Really, it's like it's like a it's how they say it's like a flower in like a sea of gravel. Like like it's
you're set apart, Kat.
Exactly.
You definitely don't conform to the world. You are your own person, and you have an individuality, and people will be attracted to that. Because
you mean sometimes be a problem being individual.
But that's a good thing. We need more of that.
No, I'm a simp for Kat. Kat the Hijabi Gamer for president.
Hey now.
Sorry, vice president. My bad.
I knew you would leave me for Kat.
No, but the problem is now I'm going to be constantly questioning this nomination. When am I just a diversity hire? I mean, after Kamala Harris.
You're never just a diversity hire. You're
never for an agenda, Kat.
I'm your favorite diversity hire.
Yes, you are our favorite diversity hire. What? That sounds nice to me.
I mean,
I'm going to take
it from the good intention that it's meant to be.
So, Kat,
on a panel full of different people, that kind of doesn't make too much sense, but okay.
Okay.
Well, you bring a lot of people together there, Mr. Eldritch God.
I do. I walk in a lot of different circles on YouTube, though. So, I tend to bridge some gaps here and there.
You know what's weird, dude? Is that
Is that my cat hacked up a whole bunch of hairballs, and now I gotta go clean it up.
Okay, well that's
gross.
Probably worse than my face. No, you know what's weird is that I don't remember how, Samuel, I got invited to your stream. I really don't. It's because we
I can tell you exactly.
Can you?
Yes, I can. There sometimes my memory is Swiss cheese. Don't do drugs, kids. But sometimes it works out. And in this case, what happened was, so I had been streaming with Kat. I started streaming with Kat on this channel right about the same time that you started doing Royal Rumble, and she went over to start doing theirs. She told me about it, and so I went over and watched. I was in the chat there for a while, and at some point, Aztec deities got brought up on your discussion, and you were just stumbling over the names, and I'm like, dude, do you want me to come up there and pronounce those correctly for you? And you were just like, well, not today, but next time definitely hit me up on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck is Instagram?
Yeah, that's when my Twitter was suspended.
Yeah, and so the only reason I have an Instagram is because of that exchange. I haven't actually looked at it since. So.
Yeah, I have a colleague who keeps sending me stuff on Instagram and keeps telling me, why don't you check your Instagram? And I'm like,
And Samuel and I will be soulmates forever.
Hetero life mates.
Hetero life
That's a lie.
I don't know anymore.
Yes, you do, Kat. You
No,
definitely know.
no, I don't. No.
Yes, you don't.
I'm just gonna live in complete and total denial. Okay.
Of course, Boosh says kiss.
You're gonna bury yourself in Warframe. It's not gonna work.
Yes.
Whoa,
Yes,
whoa,
I am.
whoa, Larry. he's up on the races in there, bro.
You're one to talk.
The Warframe phobia.
Kat, any desire to finish Super Metroid or?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know what was going on with the controls. Normally, people say it's pretty smooth. I think it was just something wrong with the mod.
I think. Well, it could also just be that I'm not familiar with the game, but I'm starting to figure it out. And I'm just finishing up Remnant from the Ashes because the sequel is coming out, and I'm really looking forward to that one.
Shut up, Boosh.
Wait, I just got a super.
Wow.
Yeah, you did.
Hey.
Catronia Rogers Murray for 149 super sticker for Kat.
Whoa.
Thank you very much for that. And yes,
she gets so embarrassed when she.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
No, she's getting better at it. Actually, she is getting better at it. See, you know what I've been doing? I haven't been trying to embarrass you. I've been conditioning you.
No,
and it's working.
Now you enjoy embarrassing me.
Also, yes, I do enjoy it when you get flustered. It's pretty funny. But but yes, Katrina, I think Kat definitely says thank you for the 149 super stickers. Very much appreciates that. Which I just realized I just spoke for you, but
what he said.
Did you just speak for a woman?
I mean, not only that, I spoke for a brown woman. Yeah.
I'm not a brown.
I know it was just.
I don't understand the whole thing. I've been called both, and I still haven't figured out what.
That is because Americans don't make distinctions about people. You know, you're either European or you're something else.
I'm not getting involved in either. You guys fight it out, and when it's all done, the Arabs will take over.
Well, you know what? I'm down with the Arabs and Christians uniting against the weirdos that want to mess with kids. So that's my stance.
Conditioning, Cavitano, not grooming. Conditioning.
Yeah, conditioning.
I've just been trying to get her used to the super chat game because she's gonna get more of them if she keeps going and keeps growing. So,
Kat, read that.
What? Read what?
Actually, you know what? Samuel, highlight Boosh 846 and let Kat read it so she can get used to
846. What now?
I see it.
It literally. How the fuck?
I don't. What?
Hey, I'm impressed. Revenge of the Netherrealm actually spelled my name correctly. There's multiple ways of spelling it, and I'm impressed. He actually remembered how to spell it.
Actually, guys, I gotta go. Actually, but it was a pleasure talking to you guys.
Robert, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, sir.
We have a YouTube channel, Islam, the number 4 Europeans, Islam for Europeans. You can also find me on Twitter after a lengthy search at Robert of Canada. That's my Twitter handle. And finally, my email address is islam4europe@gmail.com. And finally, I just wrote an article for the first issue of a Muslim men's magazine called Qawam, called Challenging the Medina Model. So I'll send you the link for that as well in the chat. But that's basically where you can find me. But we'll talk later. Thank you so much, Samuel, and Ryan, and Nomi, and Lawrence, and Kat for having me on.
Yeah,
awesome, Robert. Awesome, Robert.
No,
thank
I
you.
want to have you on more because you're very informative.
Yeah,
and I'm trying very hard, Robert, because I wanted to say something that I'm not gonna say because Samuel will be so mad.
Wait,
what?
Before we leave, we got a $5 super sticker from Lou Casley.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. Also,
read it, Kat.
$5 super sticker from Lou Casley.
Yeah, she did it.
Don't
I also wanted to just show her. Well, the Arabs seem the only ones who will be able. The thing is, what's interesting is the Muslims gave women rights back at the time of the Prophet, that Americans did not give women until the 20th century the right to own property, the right to ask for a divorce. But it's not the modern day feminism. There's a balance. The idea is men and women coexist. They, balance each other out. Each one has. So the crazy ass feminism, yes, but I mean, most people look at the hijab and me wearing the hijab and they think I'm being oppressed by it. Honestly, I think of it as liberating. I look back on one of the I went through a period where I had my own personal doubts, because I think everybody goes through their period of doubt in their religion. And one of the things that happened was I watched a documentary about life growing up as a teenage girl in America. And I realized that because I was wearing the hijab at the time, a lot of the challenges that teenage girls face in high school, I never had to deal with. Self-image issues about like all of that, I never had to deal with, because I don't feel like I know when people are like, "Oh, you have no choice." It's like, no, I chose to wear the hijab. I find it, liberating to me. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with Luke Castley. The modern version is just god awful. Where it's like they put it.
Let's be respectful, because I think Robert needs to leave. So
Robert has to leave,
and I'm sorry.
Thank
I
you
just
so
realized.
much for joining us. Please,
No problem.
Thank you, Robert. Sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you much, but I appreciate you coming through.
No problem.
All
Peace
right.
out, Lawrence. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
We'll have you on again sometime. Thank you.
You better be thanking God that I didn't say the joke I was going to say.
What were you gonna say?
I didn't.
You really want me to say that?
No, I don't even want to know. At this point, you guys
dude,
drive me.
like you're into the skid. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
No,
Luke Hazley's on here. I don't want.
Oh,
Lou is like the school teacher that you respect, and you don't want to say anything.
God,
crazy.
what do you like? Shadow's mother?
What?
It's the same shit he said. He's like, well, yeah, I don't want to say anything because like Lou.
It's Ryan. It's because they respect Lou and they don't respect you.
That is very true.
I don't think Nomi. Well, Nomi would. Well, I don't know.
No, get out of here with that crap.
No,
I'm sorry. What?
Lou's got that look in her eyes, like she's smiling and stuff, but when she be
she's a profile picture, Lawrence.
Yeah.
Sack up,
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
Lou has a way of looking at you without even being on the panel.
It's true.
Okay, well, Nomi and Kat can probably look at me without being on the panel. So, yeah.
I'm looking at you with being on the panel.
Like this?
Yeah, I know you're looking at me without being on the panel.
Like
keep
this.
looking,
Wait,
woman.
Ryan, like this? Like.
Oh, shotgun, shotgun. That Red Bull.
It's not. It's like not even. It's like a third.
Golden.
Look. That's a third.
Heck yeah.
I'll tell you
weird,
what.
just like
Here,
that.
I'll put it in a private chat. What I was gonna say.
Okay, we'll put it in the private chat, Larry.
All
Because just for the record, I have black friends because Larry's here.
Okay. Do you think you feel like you're validated with that just because you have friends?
Yes.
I have friends.
I have a black friend. So that means I can get away with more racisms.
I have a 72-inch color screen TV. I can get away with racism.
You are a.
I'm an Arab. I'm incapable of being racist.
There, I put it in the chat.
Larry.
I'm an Arab. I am an Arab.
Come on, that was funny. That would be funny.
I'll say it.
I'm not saying that with Lou in the chat.
I'll say it.
Stop it, Larry! Like what?
Roberto, you can watch me at Blacksburg Interracial, like we're white.
No, we like white meat.
So
unlike Jeffrey Dahmer.
So Drunkosaurus Rex over there fucking butchered it. Lawrence Knight.
What?
Drunkosaurus Rex butchered it. Lawrence Knight says, Roberto, you can catch me at quote blacks for interracial. We like white meat.
Yes, you just
Isn't
said
that in
at twice.
Private chat.
Yes, I
there-
put it in the private chat.
No, yes, he put it in the private chat. We just decided to read it because Nomi's drunk.
I'm not drunk.
And I didn't want to say it because Lou's in the chat.
I don't even want to know what you guys were saying.
Good, don't read it.
Because Nomi hooked on phonics worked for me.
Jesus.
Well, so we got
Not right, Ventino.
we had a pretty good discussion, and then we just jumped right back into the chaos.
You guys did. I don't know what you guys were talking about.
We lasted for a good hour, and then it got gay. So it's always about the gay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
What did I hear? A bunch of like,
okay.
That's all cat. I'm not doing anything.
What did I do? I'm an Arab here. Remember?
You're making all the
Arab.
weird. You're making all the
Arab.
wow, Nomi just kicked another minority under the bus.
You're a bully, Nomi.
I'm not a bully.
She is a bully, isn't she?
No,
She
Ryan,
learned it
you're
from
just-
you, Ryan.
Yeah, it's true. I learned from the best.
Oh, you learned from me, really? Because I
You're
bully
the white.
people.
Because I'm the brown person and you're the white guy. You have a good influence on me. That's
Good night,
why.
Luke Castley. Thank
Yeah,
you
you're
for
white,
being
so you're
here.
guilty.
And
Yeah,
on that
yeah, I
note,
got something white for you.
on that note,
Ew.
we're gonna while we're so far off the rails that we're not actually going to find our way back this week. Why don't we go around the horn? We're at about 2 hours 45 minutes. Let's start. Let's go clockwise this time. Kat, what do you have coming up?
I will probably be live streaming tomorrow, but I'm going to be limiting it because, I mean, I can't spend my whole weekend. I got to do other stuff. But I'll probably be playing Remnant from the Ashes. Oh, no. I'm wrong. Tomorrow, I promise Strive. Tomorrow, I will be live streaming GTA 5.
Ooh.
And we're going to have fun playing GTA 5. And there's going to be lots of cars crashing into people.
Well, have fun, Cat.
Wow.
Sorry,
Look, just one important question to any of you who play GTA 5. Are there any airplanes that you can take and crash?
No, but
I think there's a helicopter.
They're
not the same.
prostitutes that you can beat and kill.
No, that's not. No, that's no fun.
There's probably some mods you can grab out there that will have airplanes.
I do know that if you get a good enough ramp, you can at least pretend to be in an airplane for a very short period of time in a fire truck.
You know what? In all honesty, I think that the Grand Theft Auto 5 is the one that you can actually download the LA whatever mod and you can play a cop.
Are there? I don't know. I don't play Grand Theft Auto, so I'm the wrong guy to ask. So, but he says there are planes that you can hijack and like fly around and stuff. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I'm the wrong guy to ask. Boosh says that there are. So, but
hey Shadows, I see your comment, but behind the scenes, she's helping me with something. Just for context, viewers, I am a kind person to Shadow, and he needed some help with life and a job, and I was just giving him some pointers of how to approach this situation in a job that he's in.
Yeah, stop being a bully, Zillage.
Okay, thank you, Nomi Marketing Department.
Anyway, was there anything else coming up for you, Kat?
Nah, not sure yet. I'll think of it. If so, I'll mention it tomorrow.
Fair enough. Larry, what do you have planned coming up on the interwebs?
Well, tomorrow I will be visiting a very special channel talking about Star Trek related items. And I may also on a side panel or a side window watch a certain hijabi gamer go wild on GTA 5. So we'll see, but I will definitely be on tomorrow's panel. I see you at the flagpole. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't. Just ignore the chat. Finish what you're saying.
Anyway, you guys can catch me next Thursday night. Next Friday night on Abyssal Musings with my co-host Samuel the Infamous and Know Me Without You. By the way, when is Shark Week?
Are you
it's
asking
month of July, isn't it?
About Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Was it last week?
It's ended July or first week of August, wasn't it?
No, it's
I thought it was later in the year.
It was last week, yeah.
But it's always been later in the year.
Yeah, I was just when it was always the last.
Yeah, because they usually do it for
July.
Sweeps Week, which is in the fall.
No, it was last week because last week was International Shark Day. I think it was that was Thursday.
Oh well,
International Shark.
Look, I didn't pick it.
Does everything have a goddamn day now? Jesus.
Yes, it's International My Balls Itch Day on fucking Friday.
Ew.
Is that a real thing, or are you making that up?
No, I'm making that up. But
Okay,
everything
good.
has a. No, me, shut up.
no, just so you know, just so you guys know, Shark Week this year starts on Sunday, July 23rd.
Okay, so
So
just prior to
we
Sweeps
will.
Week, yeah.
So we were supposed to talk about Jaws yesterday, but we didn't get to it. So what I am proposing is that
Nomi's broken again.
to my co-stars, whatever you want to call them, that we postpone Jaws to Shark Week, which is I think a more appropriate venue. We can make it more shark related.
Wow.
That's it.
Fair enough. I like sharks. Sharks are good. Nomi, what's coming down the pike?
Well, I'm going to be making dinner that Ryan's not invited to.
I mean, that's got nothing to do with YouTube, but sure.
Got some chicken coming to me.
Well,
but it's
fried
content.
chicken.
It's content.
Oh, you're making it. You're doing it. You're streaming, making dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's
Or
content. Yeah.
yeah,
I thought you were just saying, yeah, I'm gonna go make dinner now and fuck Ryan.
That's probably another part of it too, just for the record, because Revenge says, me, time to shame Ryan. Yeah.
He likes it. But on Monday you will
smack
catch
my ass.
What?
Just ignore it.
Only
Go on.
It's so degraded, so bad.
You know, our outros take almost as long as the FNT intros.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about on Bet's Talking.
There are only 5 of us here.
Our intros are fucking smooth. Outros, it's like dragging sandpaper across the fucking dick hole.
Oh man! All right, Nomi, when you can breathe, please do continue.
Yes, okay. You catch me on Monday with Ryan talking Game of Thrones. And then tomorrow, Sunday, I will be on Synergistically Offensive Sundays with Tom, the Rogue Attraction. And then Friday with Abyssal Musings with my lovely co-host Samuel for Prez and Lawrence Knights. And Friday Night Royal Rumble with the guy next to me who won't be called for dinner. That's what I got going on, guys.
Fair enough. Ryan, do you think you can get through this without,
Yes, I was just going to highlight the fact that Revenge says, what about dick holes? And then Zilla says, Nomi is killing me.
I'm going to tell chat the same thing I told you. Ignore Ryan.
What the fuck?
When he says shit like that, just don't worry about it. Just forget the dick holes.
I am a fucking delight. Just for
you
the
are a delightful.
Woman, shit. Know your role. Shut your mouth. So I will actually be literally in about 58 minutes on the after the weekend harder with JT R2, and we're going to be talking about, good old, a little bit more serious topics, because they're mostly family friendly, but this is going to be a little bit spicier. And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have Star Trek Engage. We're going to be reviewing Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 9 and 10. And that is the finale. Revenge, thank you very much for saying I'm a National Treasure. I love it. Also a great movie, by the way, National Treasure. Watch that. And on Monday, we're going to be doing Game of Thrones season 4, episodes number... The hell are we doing?
Isn't it 2 or 3?
I forgot. No, I think it's like 7 and 8.
Oh.
Watching a bunch of inbred murderous bastards fight
over
a chair.
We're going to be doing a lot of Game of Thrones things on my channel, Legion Talk. Also, at the same time tonight, we talked about starting an actual historical chat, review stream and stuff like that. on my channel, Legion Teaches History, where we talk legit history, no politics, no pop culture, just history. You know, whether it's the Titanic or it's Hatshepsut or Chinese, the history of China and the samurai. So I think that'd be a great thing. I appreciate everybody here. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. It was incredible. And Samuel, you take us out.
All right, so fellas, I am Samuel the Infamous. This is my channel. We are simulcasting, of course, to Ryan and Kat's channels as well. We do this every week, Screaming into the Void, where we get together and hijinks ensue, and occasionally we actually have a productive discussion. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. You can also find me on Friday nights with, as aforementioned, Lawrence and Nomi on Abyssal Musings. Sometimes we have some people pop in there too. We had a few guests last night as well. Star Trek Engage on Sundays. After we finish up with Picard Season 3, we're going all the way back to the beginning on the next episode with The Cage, the pilot of the original series. So that will be a lot of fun. And also, you will find both Brian and myself, because apparently we are attached at the dick.
Wait, when is The Cage? I missed the date.
It'll be
not
week.
A week from tomorrow, Kat.
Okay.
So you'll be there. You'll be there.
Yeah. So, but we will both also be on Beelzehub, which is Devil Made Me Do Its channel for Get Ranked.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Thank you.
I didn't, but yeah, you're co-hosting. You better not forget about it.
I'm not gonna forget. I'll get the link.
So, we'll be doing that immediately after Star Trek Engage tomorrow. Hopefully I have time to pee first, but probably not to shake. And that's all I got. Thank you all for coming. This has been a lot of fun today. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Appreciate everybody who's been on chat or on panel. Thank you so much for Islam for Europeans for stopping in and having a discussion with us. Yeah, that said, remember, it could always be worse.
Why are you gay?
Oh, God damn it.
Primal said, why are you gay?
Ryan had a
Ryan could have flaming cobras shoved up his ass. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Well, I say every day.